Well, hello everyone, and happy Friday. Well, what does a gardener do when it's too hot or, Stuart, I think we're getting tons of rain this weekend, too wet to garden? Well, this is what I do. I cleaned out my basement. And in the process of cleaning out my basement, I went through some of my Christmas things and I came across all of this ribbon, which reminded me that I need to make new Christmas bows for the 4 or 5 wreaths that I hang outside on the cottage windows in December. They are old, they are raggedy, and I need to replace them. So I'm going to do that during the dog days of summer, so I don't have to do it in December when I'm thinking about, well, buying presents and decorating and such. So this is what I am thinking about as I contemplate, I guess, Christmas in July. So you guys might be interested in thinking about some Christmas in July too, to kind of cool you off if it's hot where you are, like it is here in Oklahoma, then it might be a fun thing for you to do. So if you need some inspiration, especially for those of you that are new followers, then do we have some Christmas content for you? I thought it might be fun to put this up just as a little reprieve from the heat, but also, though it might be old familiar stuff for those of you who have been subscribers for a long time, it will be new to those of you who have just recently joined our community. So if you are not a subscriber, by all means, please hit that subscribe button, follow us, give us a like if you enjoy this kind of content. Your support means everything to our channel. So enjoy Christmas in July. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to This Garden Life today on Sunday. And we're going to start right off with the question of the day, Stuart. And that question of the day is, are you in a good mood today? Because I am in a super good mood for several different reasons, but starting with the fact that I will be turning in my book manuscript today. So hallelujah. My life is my own again, and I'm excited. Number 2, I'm also excited about some things that are going on, and here's a little tease. I'm getting some molding put on my door. There's some other carpentry work going on. I'm going to share with you some details of that, what I am reading, what I am watching, a great Christmas gift idea if you want to make something that's homemade but is easy to put together, a little bit about my Myrtle Topiaries and how to protect them during the winter. So what do you say, Stuart?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, you guys, grab your cup of coffee, grab your cup of tea, grab your cup of wassail, whatever you want to grab it, and let's get cozy. And that's the inspiration for my first What I Am Reading book recommendation. I'm just excited about a lot of things today, but this is one of them. So yesterday I was out walking. I went by my favorite bookstore in my neighborhood, Commonplace Books, and I saw this book, Cozy, by Isabel Gillies, I don't know how to pronounce her name. And at first I thought, I don't know. But then when I opened it up, well, let's just say it will expand your notion of what is cozy, what is hygge, and it's beautifully written. So I cannot recommend it enough. I've already read a good 1/5 of it. I read it last night. More importantly, boy, have I taken lots of notes and underlined a lot of things. And I've marked my place with something that always makes me feel warm and cozy. And that's when one of you stop by the garden, stop by the cottage, and some people from Georgia came by yesterday, and she brought me this sweet feather bookmark. So that always makes me feel cozy. But again, I cannot recommend this enough to you. I thought it would be a little overly sweet, but it's not. It is just good. It is great for not only a holiday gift, but for yourself going into the new year, which is really why I find it so compelling. And I cannot recommend it enough. It's one of my favorite new books. Someone who was making a recommendation said it needs to go on your bookshelf between The Happiness Project and Marie Kondo. Now, I was never a huge Marie Kondo fan, but I am a fan of this. So if you guys need something to kind of really get you inspired and get you motivated for the new year, I cannot I cannot, let me say it again, I cannot recommend this enough, at least so far. Hopefully it won't disappoint me as I get a little bit more into it. So that's my number one book recommendation. I'm reading lots of things on my Libby app right now, which I won't even go into because I'm not in them far enough. I read multiple books at a time and I'm not in them far enough to know if I want to recommend them to you or not. What I will recommend to you is something I believe I have showed you in the past, and this is this absolutely gorgeous book, Mode. Now, first of all, even if you didn't like any of what was inside, the book itself as a coffee table book is about as good as it gets. Now, one of the reasons I bought it was not only because it was absolutely beautiful, but because it gave me a great idea for my own book. And my book, which will be coming out sometime next year, I'm not exactly sure when, I will definitely give you the 411 on that when I get the info. But my book will also have this wonderful design features of the page edges being the same color as the book cover. And I think that makes it so unique. I think it makes it so enticing. And I think it just draws you in to want to
why more people don't do it.
open the pages. It's such a beautiful idea. Maybe it's a cost issue or something. But I will put the link to this one again. And you know, now that I've written my own book, I finally will have the time to go back and relook at some of these books that I have recommended to you in the past, but I haven't really had time to do a deep dive into them. So that is the second book that I am recommending, What a Beautiful Woman. And this is by Anne Hepfer. So I will put the links to both of those. What am I watching? Okay, I kind of am having a Dick Van Dyke moment. It just seems sometimes when one person's name pops up, they pop up everywhere. And Dick Van Dyke, who turned 99 just in the past couple of weeks, and who is as lucid, as energetic, his eyes twinkle as much as ever. He's just wonderful. And that kind of motivated me to watch a special on Disney Plus. And I think the name of it, Stuart, was Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. The Untold Story of Mary Poppins.
I'll just search it.
Just search it, yeah, and put that up there. It's a little bit different than obviously the movie with Tom Hanks, but it's a documentary. It talks about the importance of Walt's brother in really handling business affairs, a little bit about the author. It, obviously interviews some of the most important people responsible for making it, like Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke. And anyhow, it's just absolutely wonderful. And I think it will give you just a nice, warm and cozy feeling. So I would recommend that. I would also, if I recommended it last time, I'm going to recommend it again. And that is The Snow Sister. That video is absolutely wonderful. And then when my kids get here, we will be watching one of our very favorite Christmas movies of all time. It's an animation called Klaus. We absolutely love it. It's a dear, dear story. So that's kind of some of the things that we are watching. What I'm listening to lots of instrumental, quiet Christmas music, so as not to be overly distracting while I've been working on my book. So I am loving, my friend Patty reminded me, George Winston, lots of the holiday guitar music. You guys know I love Danny Wright. I love any kind of quiet instrumental music around the holidays, and those are some things that I am listening to. So there you go, just a couple of things that are really speaking to me during the season. Okay, here is a quick tip provided by one of you out there, and that is, what can you do to keep your paperwhites from doing that? Obviously, I have done nothing yet because mine are flopping. Now, you have seen lots of people who use kind of a raffia tie around it or ribbon, but someone else suggested something that I have done in the past that provides a really beautiful architectural rustic look, and that's by using a beautiful, beautiful branch, and you just tuck it in the soil, or in this case, you tuck it in the gravel, and it holds up the paperwhite blooms beautifully and in a really gorgeous, natural, organic way. So thank you for that tip, you guys. Actually, a number of you have recommended it to me,
me. It's something that I've done in the past, and it's definitely something that I will be doing again in the very near future. Okay, Stuart is such a tease. He said, stand over here in the corner, and then we're going to show you one of the things that you're so excited about.
It's a reveal.
A reveal. And by the way, I want to give a big shout out and a big thumbs up to a group of people. Number one, Stuart, who did not freak out, who did not arrive at my house all grumpy because he ran out of gas. Fortunately, not too far from his house. But I also want to give a shout out to the Good Samaritans who helped him push his car into a parking lot, took him to the gas station to get some gas, brought him back where he was able to fill up his tank, and that I think also simultaneously filled up his heart with goodwill that there are such good people out there that are filled with the Christmas spirit.
He waited to give me a ride back to the car.
I mean, that's just lovely. So do something kind for someone today. Okay, now the big reveal. So I've been working, and I'm going to share a lot more about this company in the future, but I've been working with a company called James Beard, a construction company that works in this area on older homes. And I first found out about it at kind of a networking thing where I was visiting with some women who are real powerhouses. And this was a woman who is in a construction business with her husband. They're a young couple, and I have just thoroughly enjoyed working with them. Well, I think I shared with you before, let's show the reveal, that I wanted to put some molding around the entryway, not only going from the parlor into the kitchen, but Stuart, let me snap you around. Yep. But also from the kitchen into the parlor. It looks to me like it is so much more complete. It is exactly the same as the molding that exists in other areas of the house that was probably the original molding. And now to me, it just looks finished. One thing they had to do, and I'll be showing you a lot more pictures, in-process pictures once it's all complete. But what they actually did was build out or build in this opening just a little bit by putting a long piece of plywood right here. And they did that so we didn't have to mess with the electrical right here. So then the molding just went over and framed that gap that was in between the edge.
Don't mess up
the edge of the wall, and also the edge now of the new molding. One thing I like about it, well, I like many things about it, is that just that little bit of a recess also makes it feel so much cozier and makes it also feel like it's two distinctly different rooms, both the parlor and the kitchen. Now, obviously, I'm going to be painting this. The painters will come this coming Wednesday, and they will paint this white. And they will also finish out this door divider. It's not even really a door. It's just a panel divider that I had been thinking of. And then wonderful Elizabeth out in California sent me this image. And I am bringing her picture to life. We're going to be putting in some of that beautiful brass mesh right here. We have some more molding that will go on around the edge of it to make it look more complete. Obviously, we will be painting it. And then, and this is the brilliance of it, there will be a beautiful piece of brass hardware that goes from here and into the wall, a sliding piece of brass hardware. So it will secure there, and then it will also secure down at the bottom and up at the top with that same beautiful brass kind of jewelry that will match the other brass appointments in my house. Now, why I love this and why we loved it is because, look, at one time, that actually was the case in this old house. There were probably, I don't know, French doors, and then they widened it or kept it open. Yeah, isn't that great? So this will actually in some way repeat something that was an original fixture of the house, if not specifically, then definitely in spirit. So it was interesting, Stuart. I was with some girlfriends the other day. We went to dine at one of our favorite restaurants, and I looked over, and at a table where we frequently sat at in this restaurant, that's what the restaurant had done. It had created an artificial alcove just by having one of these panels in place. And maybe subconsciously, that's where I got the idea. I have done something similar in outdoor garden designs, but this is the first time I thought about using it in my own home. And I am just going to love the way it looks. And then, as John Turman said, it will be wonderful because then I can hang a wreath on it or something, and it will really, really, as you walk in, let's look at again from this side. As you walk in, it will make you feel a little bit more cozy when you're sitting here, either in a chair or on my settee, but also it will really obscure and make it a little bit more mystical of what's beyond the panel. You won't be able to see what's beyond the panel, and not only that, it will hide whatever mess is behind the panel in my kitchen. Not totally, but in a way that psychologically really makes you feel as if there is a division of spaces. So let me know your thoughts on that. I think the molding looks absolutely brilliant. It not only looks wonderful here, but look here, you guys.
So we haven't shown this yet, huh?
We haven't shown this. We've also put some molding on the interior and the exterior of the door. So it looks much more the vintage of this house, probably bringing it back to some of the original appointments. And then obviously these will both be painted. Now here's another question I have for you, because I value your opinion. Sometimes I take it and sometimes I don't. But I'm equivocating right now over the color of the front door. So I talked to you in the past about how I really felt that this needed to be grounded more, and did I want to paint it one of these darker kind of noble gray colors or deep, deep blue colors in this painting. And originally I thought yes, but now I'm thinking no, the paneling enough around the window and the vertical paneling might ground it enough, and that won't be necessary. In fact, it might be overkill. So right now, because it will be less expensive, but also because I think it will be more consonant with the house, I'll probably just paint it the color of the white trim. We'll put the brass plate back down at the bottom. And then, well, you know what, Stuart? Let's take a break here. And when we come back, I'll describe to you what else is coming. Okay, something else that was original to the house, and by the way, if something was original to the house, you don't have to get historic preservation approval to do it, because you're taking it back to what it historically was. And historically, there used to be some kind of additional storm door. I don't know if it was a screen door, what it was, but you can see here the markings and the indentations for the latch, where at one time, or the lock, where there at one time was a secondary door. And one thing that I have really missed about my door is that I only have one, and as you have sometimes seen and experienced, this door is always blowing open, so it constantly needs to be locked. Well, I'm having a storm door built. It will be glass, and it will be beautiful, and it will frame. It will also have some trim on it, and it will beautifully frame and encase this door, not in any way detracting from the old 100-year-old door itself, but it will be glass. I can lock it, and consequently I can leave this door open. Then I'll have even more light flooding into the parlor, and when we're sitting here either on the settee or when I sometimes rearrange the furniture, there'll be a dad chair right here. My husband can sit here. He can look out at the birds. He can look out at the passersby and at the garden. You can see the view from here, Stuart, if you stand where I am. And the glass door will then be transparent, so he can see outside, yet it is still locked and it is still closed. So I just can't wait for that. It was something that had to be custom made. It was a priority to me. I would rather have it than have jewels or furs or a swimming pool. So I saved my shekels, and that is going to be one of the best expenditures I think I have ever made. So there you go. That's what's going on, with the exception of one small thing, and then we'll take a break. And if I needed to encase this in that beautiful trim, I also needed to encase this, because prior to their handiwork, there was none of this molding on this opening either. Now it all feels to me like it all matches, like there's not disharmony between the old and the new, but now it all speaks the same language to me, and a beautiful language at that. Okay, you guys join me and let's get cozy here in my little cutting board village with some wonderful wassail, or maybe it's not wassail. What do you call it when this is just strictly for fragrance? It's not necessarily for drinking.
Question of the day, too.
Question of the day, but I have a funny story to tell you. So my brother Dave, who lives in Overland Park, Kansas, he's just a year younger than me, and myself and my siblings have mercilessly teased him over the years because my mom had this concoction going on the stove, and it was, again, strictly to really make the house smell beautiful and smell fragrant and smell Christmassy. And he went and took a great big old gulp of it. And not only did he take a gulp of it, he told my mom, "Oh, this was delicious." So consequently, we have made fun of him over the years for Dave's wassail. Anyhow, this is from my friend Kelly, who is working on the LV team right now. You'll be introduced to her a little bit later. And she brought me this as a Christmas present. And it says, "Happy holidays. We hope your days are filled with lots of cheer and togetherness. Please enjoy the special stovetop scent. It's a family favorite. The cinnamon, cloves, and citrus are sure to fill your home with the cozy smell of the holidays." And I would put this on right now and show you how it all comes together, except I'm getting ready to leave the house for a little bit, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to waste it. So it gives all of the instructions and the directions here, and Stuart will put a screenshot this up so that you too can replicate it. But you can see that it's got cinnamon sticks, it's got bay leaves, it's got anise, it's got cloves, it's got a lemon, and it's got an orange. And it's just basically got lots and lots of deliciousness in a glassine bag that has a secure of just string around it. So I think it's a wonderful gift idea, not prohibitively expensive, but it is wonderful. And another great idea, that is very cozy. That's the theme of the day. It's very, very cozy, and it is also very welcome and a great gift for someone who has everything. Okay, since we're taking an expansive definition of cozy right now, I find these soft candy canes extremely cozy and extremely delicious, but less so when you order them online, and a lot of them come broken. So that's a tip. Do not buy these online. You can find them sometimes even at the dollar store. You can find them at Walmart. Have you seen them anyplace else? Those places I know you can find them. These are Bob's candy canes, but sometimes I think there's another brand. But I absolutely love these. The people in my family absolutely love them. They're great for serving with hot chocolate and just displaying in a really pretty apothecary jar at Christmas time, along with your other candies. Not necessarily with your insecticidal soap that I'm going to be talking about in another tip. Now, something else that I love this year are these large candy canes, these large kind of retro vintage candy canes in this classic candy cane patina. I got these at my local Homeland just up the street. I just had a couple of kiddos that came by, and they both had birthdays this week, so they got a candy cane as a birthday gift. I love them. I think they're really, really fun. There are some that come in green and white, green stripes, and different versions of red and white stripe. And again, they are at Homeland right there on your checkout counter if you want to check them out. Here is another tip. Make sure that when you suspend your son's very popular Christmas wreath from the vent above your stove that you use a stronger command hook than I did because it came toppling down. Fortunately, there's not really anything on here that can break. Yeah, but I did lose a lot of needles in the process, so I'm going to have to replicate this. Okay, a couple of other tips when we come right back. Okay, this is in response to a question that some of you had, and that is, Linda, do you ever get scale on your Myrtle Topiaries when you bring them in? And yes, I do. I sometimes get scale not only on my Myrtle Topiaries, but also on my Eugenia Topiaries that I keep out in the summertime. And scale, I don't know if I've got any that I can show you, but scale is basically a white dot that looks almost like very, very symmetrical, tiny, tiny spots of bird poop. That's the best way I can describe it. Just little white dots. Sometimes you can, well, all the time you can scrape them off, but that becomes a little bit prohibitive when you've got a lot of it. So I don't really see any on this, but I did start to spy some of it on one of my other many topiaries, and I want to treat them accordingly. So first of all, I will just give them a good watering, because one of the most important things about Myrtle Topiaries is do not let them dry out. I check them every day to see if they need to be watered. And then I will also take the spray head of the hose and of the faucet head, and I will spray them down. Once they have dried, I will then give them a spritz of insecticidal soap. This is organic. It kills bugs through contact. And typically, I'll be right back, Stuart. What I do is I do it in my kitchen sink, but so that I protect other surfaces and things, I'll often just kind of hold up a barrier like this. I don't know if you can see, but I'll hold up a barrier like this, and then I will spray with that barrier behind it so I don't get insecticidal soap over everything. I really try to cover all of the foliage inside and out, top and bottom. And then something else that I do is a lot of times I will even spray the soil itself and the gravel. And I'll just keep an eye on it. This should be fine. And by the way, I just bought, this is a good gift, by the way. If you have a gardener in your life, you're always needing insecticidal soap. You can buy the container originally, and then you can just use, you can Google any kind of insecticidal soap recipes that you can make yourself and just keep refilling the canister. And that's a great idea. Something else that I often have problems with, so I bet you too, and that is fungus gnats. We've talked about this tip before, but fungus gnats on your topiary or any of your house plants that you might be watering more because they're in the warm, dry air of the interior of your house. And that sometimes, sometimes you just erupt in gnat flies and those little fungus gnats. So you can see here, I've got a little container of it because childproof container, because I had a big bag of mosquito bits, and mosquito bits really work on fungus gnats. And all you do is just sprinkle that around the base of your house plant, making sure that you get underneath the foliage of something, if you've got like a large fern or if you've got a philodendron or something like that. But it's a way that we can ensure that to the extent possible, we can keep our plants happy and thriving before a lot of them can go back outside in the spring. Okay, I'm kind of all about things India right now, since the boys are taking a fabulous trek through India. And I got some of these canthas online, and so many of you, or canthas, I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce that, but so many of you also got some of these. They're very inexpensive. They are made out of recycled women's saris. Now, someone commented that sometimes they didn't get good reviews. Well, they probably because that person was expecting something very, very new. These are not brand new. They have that kind of aged, worn, a little bit worn patina that I like, and they're just beautiful. Some of you who have followed me for a long time know that John Turman loves to use these in his tablescapes as tablecloths, and indeed you can do that. And by the way, we're going to be visiting John's house next week, so there's a tease. And they come in different different patterns. I showed you this before. But a friend of mine and I were talking, because she got some too, we were talking about, oh man, my goodness, there are so many different ways that you can use these. Obviously, I think they would be great for anyone in college or teenagers or whatever. It's just throws, good looking throws that you could put at the end of your bed or in your cozy book nook. Again, that cozy word keeps popping up, but also obviously as a tablecloth. But here's an ingenious idea that I came up with yesterday. Wow. This is one of them that I just folded. And it's hard to protect these light colored upholstery fabrics from daily wear and tear, especially from hubs. And so what I did was I just folded one lengthwise and put it underneath the cushion, and that way it will protect both of the arms of the chair itself. It kind of gives a fun, different look to the chair. I can change it out seasonally, and then I can just put a throw pillow on there, and I think it's just a fun way to update furniture. Likewise, you could throw one over the back of your couch. Well, there's just a million ways that you can use them, making your house even cozier than it already is. You guys enjoy your Sunday. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next Wednesday for the Wednesday Walkabout. And finally, if you like this type of content, please make sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, follow, and most importantly, share to other people, especially people who might be a little lonely around the holidays and want the kind of community that we have here. It's a good thing to experience, and it's a very cozy feeling. Know that there are other people out there like you.
Well, okay, as promised, we are here at my buddy John Turman's house to see what decorations, if any, he has put up for Christmas. He had told me a few weeks back that he was going to be pretty conservative and not do much, but we shall see if he indeed decided to do a more sparse Christmas or if things are really all in their holiday glory. We shall see. I do love this wreath, and I love the wreath on the stucco of that chimney. So that definitely sets a tone. So what do you say, Stuart?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yoo-hoo! Hey! Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas to you. Welcome.
I'll probably see you again before Christmas, but just in
Okay, that'd
case.
be nice.
Yeah, but
I
just in
like being
case.
wished Merry Christmas lots of times.
Well, I know, but it doesn't feel very Christmassy.
What's with this weather?
I don't know. Now, it was cold this morning. I did a walkabout this morning, and it was cold.
The north wind was really cold.
And it was cold this morning, but it's supposed to be 66 on Christmas.
I've still got things blooming outside. And
I know.
I went out earlier today and just pulled up a few of the things that died, but there's still stuff growing that shouldn't be. So
Yeah, some
see.
of my older daffodils, they're starting to.
Are they coming up already?
They're starting to poke their heads through. It kind of makes
That's
me
nervous.
nervous.
That would be.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm
But
glad you're here.
let us not think of spring right now. Let us think of the holiday spirit, and nobody does it better than you.
Oh.
So give us a little tour, and I gave everyone a tease that yes, this year you told me you weren't going to do much
And I
Christmas.
wasn't. But circumstances changed.
Okay.
And then I went down that path. I was like, oh, I'll do a little bit. And I started doing the little bit. And it just went on until it's pretty much.
So you did a little bit, even though it sounds like you're getting over a cold. Are you?
I'm getting over a cold again, which is the second time that you've been here, and I've been getting over something. Remember in the spring it was that way.
Oh, yeah.
I think the seasonal stuff causes me issues.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
so I feel good, but I have a bad voice. So sorry about that.
well, it could also be because there's stuff in the air. Because
we haven't had anything. We
No.
haven't killed anything yet, really.
No,
so.
no, we barely had a freeze.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
But
shall
come on in here, I
we
guess.
begin?
So, and really, as I said, I was gonna just do a little, and I thought, oh, I'll get some ornaments out and put in some bowls, and then I was gonna put my wreaths in the window. That was the main thing I always do. So that really does say Christmas to me. So I have a wreath for pretty much every window in the house.
Well,
So I got those out, and then after things kind of started happening, I thought, oh, I don't want to do that big Christmas tree, but wouldn't it be fun to buy a new one? So I downsized the tree and found that one.
Wait, that's fake.
That's fake, yep.
And you know what? I think this is a version of the same fake one I have because I recognize these pine cones. Was it unlit when you bought it?
It's unlit.
So was mine.
Right.
I think mine is the same one, though mine seems a little bit smaller, but it looks so real.
I thought it looked very, really right. And I really liked that it's like, I think they called it a 4-foot tree. And of course it had some stupid little base on it. So then of course I had to go to the garden center, find a nice
Of course you
clay
did.
pot and get it planted, as you would say.
Yeah. Well, and it looks great. So okay, remind me, don't you have a specific philosophy on Christmas tree lights? About whether you should get a pre-lit tree?
Well, I've kind of developed one now. The pre-lit trees seem so cool and wonderful, and I've had at least 3, I guess. But as the lights start burning out on them, you either have to just wrap more lights on it, which gets a little complicated looking, or you have to get them off. And if you've ever tried to take those off, it's not fun. Finally, I learned just take the wire cutters and just cut every one, just peel them off.
Yeah.
But anyway, when I and most people who do them themselves light a tree with with Christmas lights, we do it much looser. And so if something does happen, I can get them off pretty easily.
Yeah.
And it's not it takes hours to get those things cut off. And I've done that before. And then gotten disgusted and thrown the whole thing away.
And then it
So
seems
it's just-
so
it-
it seems so
it was
wasteful.
Wasteful and too much work and
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm kind of a fan, and I think I've decided I'm a fan of smaller trees. So I'm not sure if I was buying a big tree, if I would still do the lights that way. I mean, that's a lot
Yeah.
to do. But I think on these smaller ones, it's very manageable. This is only like 150 lights on this tree, so 3 strings, so it's easy to do.
Okay, I've got a question. Okay, here's a question of the day for all of you out there and for you, John.
Okay.
So I had a friend that I used to work with for years. Her name was Georgia Bunton. She was from Georgia, and she had the best Georgian accent that ever could be. And she told me that never, ever in her life would she ever have a blinking light, especially one in colors, on her Christmas
Yes.
tree. And I asked her why.
And
She said, because all I could see is bar, bar,
I agree.
bar. I
totally agree.
never would have thought that.
so especially the blinking part. The multicolored lights I think can be kind of fun, but the blinking does absolutely do that. And these newer ones, you can change all the colors and they go in circles and do all this stuff. And one of the small trees I looked at even had that, and it was several $100s.
Let me switch places with you,
And
Stuart.
I was just like, no, I would never, ever use this, And no, I totally agree with her. And I do, on the big tree, I used to put the little lights, and then I always forget which size it is, that smaller of the
C7.
C7s. And I would mix those up with white and red, just a little something. But overall, I think the white lights make the ornaments show up better. Colored
Yeah.
lights just become like more ornaments.
So the pine cones came with it.
Yeah, they're
That's
attached to it so on mine too. Now this year, my back room, I'm not
So
doing, true confessions. I will reveal that I did do some decorating for Christmas, but I've got some construction going on. I've already taken down some of my Christmas because it was getting too dusty, and then they had to paint,
And it was in the way, I'm sure.
and it was in the way. Then the chaos of it all kind of makes me feel less than festive. Now, another question of the day. Another thing that I would like to have, if I ever really did a full-blown Christmas tree again, are those old-fashioned foil reflectors that you put around the lights
Yes, I used to have some of those.
that made them look fuzzy in pictures and
Oh,
things.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I haven't seen those, and I Googled them the other day, and
Are
I
they
really,
not available?
no, it must probably just in an expensive antique stores
Yeah,
now.
they're vintage.
And they were all
pieces.
multicolored, and
Yeah.
I would have liked them
Well,
all in
when-
silver.
And of course, I started doing Christmas trees when I was young. So in our playhouse that we had a Christmas tree, and we had big lights on it, and it did have those reflectors. And of course, you have to unscrew the bulb, put that on,
Yeah.
screw it back. But I had those, and I had them forever, and then somewhere along the way.
But
they
they're
went away,
so
but
fun.
They are fun.
And I was
hadn't thought of
watching.
those in years. Yeah.
Well, I was watching that movie, The Christmas Story,
Mm-hmm.
and on that tree, there's a certain way they'd look, and I thought, oh, they've got reflectors on them, and that
That's
sent me down the path. Well, let's take a break right here, and we'll come back in a moment. Okay, so you have collections of these ornaments, some new, some look antique, some look like mercury glass.
Mhm.
But the most spectacular collection I think you have is underneath this cake dome. And you kind of have a dome fetish, I've noticed.
Yes, I do. I hadn't really realized that. So the base of that is, I think, meant for cheese. I think it's in English. I think that's an antique, actually, that I inherited. And then I don't know where the dome came from. But anyway, I think it's really meant for cheese or butter and stuff to be under. And if you'll remember when you've been here before, that's usually got seashells under it.
Uh-huh.
And I've done other things under it, but the seashells are kind of the normal thing. And then I love mercury glass, as you find that throughout the whole house. And so these ornaments I've been collecting for a long time, 25 or 30 years. And some of them are actually old and a lot of them are new.
Well, and that's
but to me, that's where I started. I was just going to do little pops of things like that to say Christmas, and then not worry about the tree and all that kind of stuff. And
then it's an
we know where
addiction.
that went.
Christmas is
so,
an
but you see
addiction.
that just kind of dotted through the room. So all of these are mercury glass.
Well,
on these
this one
tables.
is special though, because that's must be the North Pole still life
Yes.
under the dome
Maybe so. But see,
of
last
the
year,
Arctic Circle.
that Santa and that Christmas tree were in the kitchen with the treats. So I try to do something different with things every time. Last year, I think there were just ornaments under it. So
There's definitely different philosophies that people have. So do you know Petty Tag? We
No.
just did. You need to watch that garden tour or that home Christmas
maybe I
home
don't know her
tour.
name. I did watch it.
Okay.
Karen Hines?
Yes.
Yes.
And she's got a beautiful home. But almost every year she does things very, very similar, almost formulaically. Like she likes to have traditionally her paper whites in a certain place each year, and then others like to kind of mix it up. And I think it's very telling about people's personalities. If they really want something to be the
Well, it's
same
comforting
and feel
sometimes.
security,
Right,
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
So I get
Or
that.
and it may not seem as nostalgic or as Christmassy to them
Right.
if things aren't replicated
Well,
from
and-
one year to
And
the
of
next.
course, I always think too, you invest a lot of money in this stuff, you really should use it. And you only use it for a short time each year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a shame for someone to do this and then, okay, we're done and go on to some other thing the next year.
No, I agree
So I like to
completely.
rework something somehow. And so mine always ends up being sort of traditional,
Yeah,
even though there are variations on it. But,
Right.
But it's just,
yeah.
I just don't see through. And of course, I have clients who either have a new house or new decor and they want a new Christmas tree. And so we'll do the whole thing. Now, we'll see how long they go forward with that same tree.
Yeah.
But they are more thematic and that sort of thing. And it's fun to do it and it's pretty, but it's not as traditional. and
I kind of
it doesn't create
I like
memories.
Christmas classic with a twist,
Yes.
where you're using the kind of the same things but in different ways. I don't know, it lends to creativity
I think it does, too.
and things like that. And it also gives you an opportunity to use all of these platters and bowls and
Well,
just
and-
interesting
And you'll remember too, we
containers.
talked about this. I don't really like to put things away at Christmas because I have no place to put them, most of all.
Right.
So I tried to make that a minimal effort to take things away. I took a few things away, but I wanted to just be able to use what's here. So like in here, for instance, there were seashells in lots of these dishes. So those came out and the ornaments went in. But,
And where do then the seashells live?
they're
Under your
in-
couch?
They're in the tote that the ornaments are in, and they're back in the basement.
Oh, okay, okay.
This one,
Well,
anywhere.
yes. Okay, so there's a couple of things here that I am recognizing, and yes, and Stuart does such a good job because there's so much to see in this room. So don't just focus on what we're looking at, but look all around because there's just there's so much to take in. But I see a friend.
Do you?
I do see. May I touch?
Of course you
I
can.
I know this was probably a really pricey biblo of
Actually,
yours.
it was a gift from you.
Oh, yeah,
Even though
huh?
I found
Do you
it.
recognize
Oh,
this,
yeah.
Stuart? Do you recognize this little princess?
Cha-cha-cha.
Yes. That we got on our last thrifting adventure. And by the way, we have great thrifting plans for in January.
That'll be
So
fun.
yeah, so that will be
When
fun.
I saw
But
this, I thought this will be kind of I don't know that it's a Christmas ornament, but it was like, it looks like it should be
It's
a
the
Christmas
color,
ornament.
right? Yeah.
I don't know, but it spoke to you.
So it spoke to
It
me.
screamed.
So she
John,
came
take
home with
me
Dance for you. Yeah.
Okay, and then there are these wooden trees,
They're
or
tiny
excuse me,
paper.
press paper
Press paper.
trees that go together.
Yeah,
and I
they're
know
just-
you have different ones. And someone, okay, we're going to mea culpa here, John, because one of
They're
you,
so cool.
you asked a question. You were looking for more of them. Where could you find them? One of our good followers told us, and we thought we would remember, and then we didn't take a screenshot of the answer.
Right.
And now we're back to square one. So
if it comes up again.
so
If
if
you're
it comes
still
up again,
watching.
if you are still out there watching, we are so sorry that we weren't responsible.
And I saw some this year. I didn't buy them, but they were solid color. But it's this construction, which is really cool.
I
that
think-
they slide apart and go back together. And those were somewhere in Oklahoma City too.
Urbane.
maybe it was there. Maybe it was there.
I think
can't
maybe
remember.
I saw
Anyway,
some.
it's
I
a great
saw
concept.
some
So
at
someone should do more
Urbane.
of those.
Yeah.
So the friends to that one are up in the rest of the house. So you'll see the others later.
So what I find interesting in here, because now that I've got more blue in my house, and then obviously Christmas brings out red and white, that I thought, ooh, is that going to look kind of too summery, too July-ish with the red, white, and blue? But it really doesn't. I think because all of the porcelain, all of
Well, it was. If someone asked me the colors of my house, I literally will say, and I laugh and I say this: red, white, and blue. So really, it's cream. It's sort of this rosy or red.
Right.
And then these lots of different blues, but it doesn't read July 4th or summer.
Right.
No,
I've never felt that.
Yeah.
And so I think it works. But I took some pictures of this as we got all this done that have been on my Instagram, and it's surprisingly, the blue and white's not popping out in here right now. The red does take over. And of course, I've added a lot of Amari too, which has created some other colors. The rusty.
but more of a
blues.
rusty red.
Yeah. So I think my blue and white sort of gotten toned down a little bit.
I gotta ask because I don't know. Other people probably don't either.
Amari.
Amari.
Tell me about this.
So Amari, I'm going to get this piece because this is more representative. So Japanese porcelains, and they're often blue and white on the outside, a little color sometimes, but the insides are almost always have rusts and greens and some blues.
Very cool.
I think it goes back to the 17th century, maybe it's when it's, and I may be wrong because I'm not an expert on this at all, but in the 70s, Amari became this really hot pattern. So a lot of people did China, and you'll find some great China from Fitz and Floyd or just Neiman Marcus or store brands, did it. And so it was very popular. So some of these pieces
Thank you, John.
are that kind of thing, and then this one's kind of fun.
Yeah, I remember working at
our
a gift.
store,
I remember working at a gift shop in the 70s, and there was lots of Amari.
So, and I never smoked, and I wouldn't do this, but this is a cigarette jar. But look who it's from.
Okay, you're asking me to be able to.
Okay, I'll see.
Oh, Lillian's
Strickler. So this was sold in the lamp store here in Oklahoma City on 23rd Street.
Oh,
just a
yes.
few
It
blocks
was
from
an
here.
institution.
Yeah, and I'm sure this was from the 70s.
Oh, I'm sure.
She would have had that in there. But I really only bought this because of that label on the bottom because it meant so much to me. But anyway, it's a cool jar. And I like the ones, some of them are more rusty.
Like this piece is
one,
really
which
rusty.
is
Yeah.
And that was a gift to me from a really lovely friend. A family piece of her aunt, I think, brought it from Japan.
That's neat.
But I like the ones, that have green in them. And you can kind of see them here. A lot of them have this really pretty blue-green color. That
Yeah, it's
shows up.
almost like a tea. Yeah.
I think that's nice.
Turned around, I can see it.
Well,
And they're just great designs, so they're all different. And really, they are like Stuart over here, that covered pot.
Yeah, we're doing circles.
That's meant to be used at the table. It's tableware, and it would have some kind of soup or something in a broth.
Well, the interesting thing is, and it's a little bit sad, is we refer back to the 70s, like it's way back, but that wasn't that far, that long ago, that I'm thinking.
But have you seen these things where people say 2024 to 1970 is the same distance from 1970 to something like 1918?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like it goes the other way really far.
Cut. We're not going to go there because that could really get me out of the Christmas spirit. Well, I tell you what we're going to do. We are going to get out of this room because I want you to show us some other places. But before we go, my question that I asked in a previous video that really resonated a lot with people, in terms of a Christmas motif that you most relate to, a stocking, a Christmas tree, a wreath, or a star, what is the iconic kind of Christmas thing that you really relate to?
What would be the wreath?
The wreath.
If I had done nothing except, or if I'd only done one thing, it would have been these wreaths in the window. And I think that would have said Christmas and it'd been fine.
Yeah. For me, it's definitely, maybe it's because they're more gardeny.
And I think that's part of it too. And it's simple. It can be simple. They can be really complicated. But I like simple ones.
Yeah, and the infinity, the symbolic meaning of it. Stuart afterwards said, "Oh, I would have thought you would have said wreath, or you would have said tree."
Well,
and then after I told him wreath, he doubled
like,
back
"No,
and he
that's
said,
absolutely
he
what it
said,
is."
"No, that's of course what
Because
it
you
is."
use those all year round in all sorts of ways.
And a lot of people do that, which I love. Some people always have a wreath on their front door of some sort.
Yeah.
I have a client who I've done several wreaths for. That she just keeps on
Well,
going. But
and sometimes the front door just almost seems incomplete without
but
some
I
kind
really
of
do like
wreath.
just a simple red wreath or simple green wreath with some kind of red ribbon.
Yeah,
on
and
it.
you've got these
don't have
tiny
any
cute
bows.
ones.
And I saw you, Stuart, looking to see how that was up there. So we are so lucky.
Yeah.
We have double hung windows.
I
So I
know.
simply
We were
put it
talking
on the
about that.
top, tuck it up in there, and close it. So it's great. I don't
Yeah,
have to make
that
any
is
holes
a
or do
luxury.
anything, yeah.
That really is a luxury. Though I guess because you've got blinds also, you could have put just some kind of
And before
little.
we got these windows, they used to have to tack it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was more trouble than it was worth. Well, not worth, but just more trouble than it should be.
Okay, let's move on. Now, if there's a grand doyenne of Christmas, it would be her.
The angel.
And you described her last year, but describe her again.
Well, it's my understanding, I don't know for a fact, but she came from Tulsa, I do know that. My grandmother had her, and I think she probably came from this really terrific store that used to be there called Miss Jackson's. There was another store also that she could have come from, but I think she's Miss Jackson's. And my grandmother she bought this, and then she made this great big pink felt stocking, which I was an idiot for not taking, but to kind of go with her. So those were the two iconic things always in her formal living room that we never went in, There would be this angel and then this stocking, which she would hang on the back of a chair. So they were kind of cool pieces. But this girl, I think, is just really unique.
And she's got that expression that speaks to, I don't know, maybe different specials. We used to watch it when we were kids at Christmas. Oh, now I have a Christmas treat and Christmas story to share today.
Okay.
So the wonderful contractor that I'm using to do the work at my house, she came by today to check on some things. Let me get out of the way. She came by to check on some things, and she had her daughter with her. And Britt, who has the company, she has gorgeous red hair. Well, she had her little daughter, Olive, who's like 1.5 years old, with that same red hair.
Cute.
And she had a little Cindy Lhoo ponytail on her head. And she was so cute. And she was adorable. And
That's great.
I kept trying to, make her like me. And before they left, her mom put her down. And I kept, kind of making nice to her. And before she left, she walks up to me and she goes like this, and she let me pick her up and give her a hug. And oh my gosh,
That's great. I love that story.
I know. It's
Yeah.
little Cindy. Is Cindy Lhoo?
Lhoo, yeah.
Yeah, Cindy Lhoo. Oh my God. Spitting image of her mom with
That's
that
wonderful.
gorgeous red hair. Well, it made
love
my
it.
holiday. If nothing else
Okay.
good
See,
happens,
those are the good things.
it made my holiday.
So
Okay, so you've got some contas. Contas,
they're all
you told-
stacked up right now. You're going to find today that there's not one as a tablecloth for the first time in a long
and you've
time.
color coordinated yours.
Well, I won't, not by
Kind of.
accident. I mean, those
Yeah.
are just the four that I usually out and they're
But
out.
I got some, and they are so fun.
They really
And
are.
a lot of our followers got some too, and they're just so many different ways.
I use them all the time for people, so I love them.
Well, Stuart
In
got
fact,
one.
I use one for a Christmas tree skirt at one house.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Stuart has them over. One completely consumes a chair that he's
But I
got.
love what you did to cover the arms of Jamie's chair.
Okay.
That was cool. Very good.
I mean, see,
Very
little,
good, very
little
good.
John
I know.
Turman.
Well,
I'm
then
getting that.
I was like, well,
I'm getting it by
I was an appliance
osmosis.
accessory who has pets, and 2 chairs need to be recovered. I thought, I bet we could put 2 contas on each chair.
Yeah.
And do one like you did, and then one come down the front.
Yes.
To make this work for a
Yeah.
while.
Well, the nice thing is, then when spring comes, all you have to do is reverse them,
Yes,
and you've got a
they're
whole
great.
different.
Yeah.
You've got a whole different.
But all of
look.
mine that I've been using in the dining room, various places, got washed and folded and put in the chair. But I couldn't put them away; they're too cool. I love
No,
those
they are
guys,
too cool,
so-
and I love stacks and piles of things that are, and they're all folded the same way.
That
It
was
speaks-
tricky because they're not the same size.
No.
So that took some time to figure it out. how to
Can
do
we
it.
say fastidious? John F. Turman.
Well,
John Fastidious
my retail
Turman.
background has to come in when
Well, that's
you fold
true.
the clipboard.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that
Blame
stuff.
it on that,
was
John.
definitely
Yeah,
that.
blame it on
It's
that. Okay, so now
So-
we are in your dining room, which I just adore, and you have the table set. Are you going to serve us dinner after we finish
Sure.
eating?
we can do a visit for what Christmas Eve might be. So I think we're gonna have tamales this year on Christmas Eve. So I thought this would be kind of fun to do. It's not very. It's not really having to do with the food. Just thought that would be a pretty tame.
No, it's
to
very
do that
pretty
with.
table.
Um,
Talk to me
well,
about that. That's not. Pink's boat,
So
but
none
this
of these
is
go together. Well, there's two different of each, but at one point, before I had the bazillion books that I had used the pink and white or the red and white in my office, just in the shelves. And so I just collected pieces of it. So I think I have 3 of these. These are actually Mason's Pink Vista. I have 3 of these, and I have 2 of those, and I have 3 or 4 of those, and I have 2 of these. So so then at some point they all ended up in the cabinet because I needed the bookshelf space, So when I was poking around the other day, I thought, I think it'd be fun just to mix this all up for a casual evening dinner. So that's what's happened.
No, I love it. I love this glassware, and it will be so beautiful when you light those candles and it reflects off of the little birds and everything. Really, did you compose this yourself?
Well, again, I don't remember last year. Somebody had sent us a wreath with a candle stuck in the middle of it, the whole thing. And so I took out all the plastic parts.
Right.
And last year I had used the Nandina berries, and I put all that marble fruit, that
Oh, yes.
There was all that. So it's very colorful. So this time I decided just to do the magnolia and keep it all green.
I like the all green.
But that's what started it. So,
Yeah.
Both ways are a great garden.
Very
theme,
subtly
but it's simple.
tasteful.
Yeah.
No, very, very lovely. And then, boy, you've got just bowls of these ornaments everywhere.
Yeah, I went crazy collecting ornaments just at one point. So.
You know how I got cured of that? That we had a tragedy in the basement at my older home, and the one tub of Christmas ornaments that got completely destroyed
Were those?
were all the glass blown
hurt.
ornaments and things. And I thought, I'm too old to start doing that all over again. And however, one thing that I'm really smitten with that was at Patty's, and I'm thinking, ooh, I really do like these, were those Wallace sleigh bells. Oh my gosh.
And I love that because we used to sell those at the store I worked in. And I never understood why people bought them because I thought, I don't particularly like that stuff on the Christmas tree, but a collection in a bowl made perfect sense. Or to use them on the table, which would be great too. But having one or two does good. You gotta have a lot.
And so what did I do? I started looking on eBay and stuff to see
because they still make them. Are they
yes, you can still. Yes, you can still find. You can still find some. They're about $45 a piece.
Well, they used to be like $12.50 or $15, or and they went up to $20.
Yeah.
But those were great. I mean, we sold hundreds of them.
And they're beautiful. And I have to say,
you have to polish them. So
you do. And hers were all beautifully polished. Though I think she stored them
in something.
To keep.
But
them
what I love
looking
about
like
these.
that.
The vintage ornaments is that they really weren't these colors when they were made. I mean, you can start like this, which we think is chartreuse. That was green at one point.
Okay, so you gotta show us. Yeah.
See, it was green up here, really
And,
more of a
and now it's
green.
a better color
But
than it
it's
was.
this fabulous color because it faded out somewhere. So and really, when I bought these, they weren't very expensive. And I've lost some, but if you lose one, it's fine.
Well, and you can still find.
Not like you used to could though. I mean, the estate sales and garage sales used to have boxes of these, and people think they're worth something now, so they want $5 a block.
Well, and you can find new ones of them, but now the little hangers on them are not always metal. They'll be like plastic or something, and that kind of just steals some of the charm. Okay, show us what else you have in here, and then we'll move on to the kitchen. Now, did I give you this basket?
Gave me that basket a long time ago.
I thought I did.
Actually, there are two. I have 2 of them.
And I didn't keep one for myself. How could that have been? How could that have been? That must be more before I got into my blue and
It
white.
was. Actually, you weren't doing blue then.
Really?
You really were.
Okay, well, that explains it.
You're right.
That explains, yeah.
So, and then behind you, Stuart, is the Christmas tree that I put this one together first and had it in the living room. And it just looked sad.
It just looked too small.
Enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't, the shape of it went great. And it's always good in here. So I brought it back in here. And then I went and bought that other tree. But
Look at how great that captures the light.
not great in the sunlight.
Now see,
way.
this is crying out for one of those like red ribbons like we're on those Wallace bells.
Probably so.
Just because it's so beautiful and sparkly.
And the pokey things in there are Christmas tree toppers that I got for 99 cents a piece at some after Christmas sale at Crate and Barrel or one of those stores. So I bought 5.
Well, and they look perfect
But
in
they
there.
work for I've never used them on a tree topper, but as a tree topper.
They're reminiscent of your bottle bouquets outside, kind
It is
of.
that kind of thing.
Are our viewers probably seeing these ornaments and having memories? Are these ornaments that would have been around?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
oh
absolutely.
yeah.
It's neat.
They're a
I mean,
lot
and
of
a lot
them.
of the ornaments on my trees are from my family, so they're as old or close to my age even. They're actually not
This is what you were talking about.
Certifiably vintage because they're more than 50 years old.
Okay.
So, and then remember these other balls my grandmother made with the pearls and all that stuff.
Over here, yeah. Show them first. What are they again? What are they?
It's felt on styrofoam, and then they're embellished with pearls and ribbons and all that kind of stuff.
My mom had some pin cushions that she used to like this.
Okay, so I have to tell you as a little homage to my Uncle Ace. My dad was one of 9 children in Batesville, Indiana, and we just lost his last sibling a couple days ago, my Uncle Ace. He was a brilliant athlete, and he was he 87, 88, 89? But it reminds me of these when I look at these ornaments. These are the kind of ornaments that would have been on my Grandma Loretta's tree at their house when we were little. And you just don't know what is going to mean something to you as an adult when you're little.
Right.
And so I try to remember that whenever little kids come to my house, that what can you do to make this memorable so that when they're an adult,
So they'll think,
it will really make an
I don't think you
experience
predict that. So
significant.
Maybe a little bit. Because even when the things, I don't know if I remember what I thought was significant when I was a child, but when I became an adult and started doing this, I think back now, I was like, oh, that did mean something. Why didn't I keep it or carry on with it but how it works.
I think because my mom died when I was so young that I don't have a lot of those memories, and so ones that I do have were very significant to me. Yeah, and this is just perfection. And then we weren't here for Thanksgiving.
Actually, you were, but we forgot. Remember, I was here. Stuart and I were here.
Oh, that's right.
And you said to me, be sure and show the pilgrim.
Oh, that's right.
And I remembered later.
Oh, we didn't show it.
Do it. So
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
what
right.
happened. Anyway,
funny.
again,
And then we've got the 3 wise men here.
which shouldn't be out yet, but they're so cool.
Well, they're wonderful. Okay, let's take a break and then let's go to the kitchen.
So not much going on in here, just reading the windows.
Okay, but so
What do you see already?
I already see something I'm going to steal. This is, remember last year I told you there was kind of a bird's nest fern theme that wherever I went, there was a bird's nest fern. I saw you have
I
one.
still have mine. Still
And
going.
you still have one.
Yeah.
And now this year I'm seeing these highly polished gallery trays.
Gallery tray, right? Gallery tray.
And oh my gosh, look at what you've done. And you've just put your Christmas cards on it. Tip, Stuart, we need to put the big tip icon here because I am so going to get mine out and polish it up. Though honestly, I think they look beautiful,
They're
not
fine,
polished
right,
too.
But they look good polished. I will agree.
But this looks beautiful, and you've just got your Christmas cards on here.
Just
What a wonderful
and,
way.
And this is where we open the mail, so it's really easy just to drop them in. We also, I don't want to string them up somewhere to see them that way, but because we're in here, it kind of reminds us that people did send us a Christmas card. We're not just putting it in the entry hall and walking away from it.
Well, and it's just kind of, I leave some of my design books and my beautiful garden books there. So I'll just flip a page as I'm going through. But yeah.
And then if somebody gives us a gift, and if it has a gift tag on it or something, I'll throw that in there just so we remember after Christmas that we need
Thank
to
you,
acknowledge
Note.
this stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that first one you picked up, that was actually attached to a gift, so it's a good place to keep up with that stuff.
Okay, so I'm stealing this idea, but
Steal
another
that.
idea that I was going to steal for you is not here.
And what's that?
You had, the king of the domes, you had that gorgeous
Well, it's behind you.
apothecary.
I made it
Oh,
back here.
okay. Filled
With
with nut clusters.
Nut clusters, right, which was a good friend of ours. We called it Dan's Candy because he made it for us all the time. And he's no longer with us, so now I make it. So,
Okay, how did you get those on there?
carefully.
In there and perfectly, because if you lift off the dome, then you get little scuff marks
Actually,
on the
you'll be
dome.
impressed. I think it lifts without doing it. See? It didn't
Oh,
go.
because
It
it's
sits on top.
wide.
Right. And this is, so this dome was, you can smell it. This smells good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This,
Fits
it's actually
so
close,
well.
you know that. It's
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
And so somebody gave me that a long time ago. That's an old Martha Stewart cake plate. There was a set of 3 that she sold early on, so I have those. And then this dome I bought on our theme trip. And actually, I think I found it after we stopped filming.
How did you find that
Yeah.
And I didn't
That's
snatch
me,
it
you were
up
gonna ask that.
Well,
first.
remember we went back with Jen to show her those vases that she was going to.
Yes, that's when you found it.
That's when I found it. And
You,
I was like,
you
oh
were
my God, I
holding
gotta
out on
have
me.
this.
Okay, so
We would've gotten it to
okay,
begin
so
with.
so this is definitely when we go thrifting. You know, the glass probably is now my favorite aisle
Okay.
when I go. So definitely we're
But
going to be
I want
looking at
another one,
that.
so we got to find another dome for me.
Okay.
And then this is a cake plate that is like a reproduction of something. So none of those pieces go together. That's all just stuff I made up.
And everything looks better and more important when it's elevated and has
And on a doily.
and a ring and a red bow. But no, this, Stuart, we need to put up another little light bulb tip because doilies, you are the doily. Okay.
I have a doily drawer.
Okay, that is so wrong and so right on so many different levels.
And I've had one
just-
forever. So, in fact, I don't even have new doilies. They're old. They're antique.
They're old, and
But-
yeah, you told me once you saw some at Hobby.
Well,
You had
one
some
of my
from Hobby
packages,
Lobby.
They were $1 for
$1.
a package of the big size ones.
That
It was
shows how
$1.
old
I don't
they
even know who sells doilies anymore because I have my own supply. So what
Because
can I
of
say?
course you do.
And
Because
I-
of
and
course
I,
you do.
know, twice a year I use a doily, but
But okay, but here is another tip. I bet because for me, if I have this kind of dome and I try to put it over something, then it seems like all of my confections underneath
They
tend to
slide
move
around.
around, but the doily kind of holds them
it
in
kinda does.
place.
It does. And I think it just adds a little finished touch to it. So
Oh, it absolutely does. And I just love glass when it's all aggregated together like this, and it's all beautiful and shiny, and it reflects the light.
it reflects the
And
light.
have you seen the movie? It's Complicated.
yes.
Okay, and it's that scene when she walks into her bakery for the first time and turns on the light, and everything in there is a reflective
It's a
surface.
great thing. I love it.
And I think this is kind of,
does that.
and well, in this, it's kind of indicative of that. And then you have all of the classic things we have to revisit every time we come. Your Road Runner, just all
Yep.
of everything. Okay, so one last thing. Did you decorate anything else?
I decorated everywhere in the house. You can go in the bedroom. We can stay
Okay,
on this
okay, in the
one.
bedroom?
So, but let's take a break. and
Yeah,
we'll do
you've
that.
got a cool bedroom. Let's
Yeah,
let's
let's go
take
there.
a break and we'll be back. Okay, come on in, Stuart.
So you know, Linda, I really do like to decorate a little bit in the whole house. And of course, we spend most of our time back here because our TV's back here and in our bedroom. So I always, have red sheets I like to get out.
Yeah,
Get the leaves in the windows again.
I remember.
Um,
I'm trying to think everything I kind of remember. Now, have you always had that begonia in the window?
I have.
How did I not notice it last
I don't
time?
know,
I
'cause it's-
love that plant stand.
Yeah, that was at my grandmother's house too. I love that too. Which is not at all the style you think for this house, but I just love that gilded bamboo. So
Well, I love
But
anything
that
faux
plant
bamboo.
is, I got that in 1984.
You're kidding.
Somebody gave it to me, and I've had it that long.
Like
I've
that
split
plant
it-
is from that? Oh,
I've
wow.
split it 3 or 4 times.
It's as old as me.
But it's-
Wow.
So,
It's an heirloom.
and it is truly an heirloom. And you don't see begonias like that in
No.
greenhouses anymore,
Uh-uh.
ever. And every once in a while, somebody will have a piece of it in, like, I can't remember where I saw some greenhouse here in the city. Oh, I think they had it at Precure one time.
Really?
Just a couple of them, and I don't know why they had them or where they. It's really weird, but it is truly a hand-me-down kind of plant.
Well, and
Uh,
it's old fashioned and
and
it's
it's happy back
beautiful.
here.
And
It is
it
nice.
is happy. Now, I don't, okay, here's the other
So
trees,
the red and the blue one.
the red and the blue, and I do not remember that Santa.
He's been here. He was probably in my office or somewhere before.
Is that needle pointed?
It is.
And is it a doorstop? No, it's
don't
not
think
even
so.
a doorstop. It's just light, but
I
isn't
think
that
it's just a decorative
cute?
thing.
I'm coming that way to look at it.
I'm thinking, I used to do quite a bit of needle pointing, and I haven't in years. And I'm thinking about it again in all my free time, yeah.
So how heavy is that?
Oh, it's not at all.
Yep, and indestructible pretty much.
You know, Deborah does tons of ornaments every
Oh,
year
does she?
for
Oh,
all of her family. She did one of the cottage.
Oh, nice.
It's so cute. Oh, speaking of, if you haven't seen it, Stuart did the new intro, the animation of the cottage with Santa coming and landing on
Oh,
that.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's
Okay.
just in the
Okay.
one. Well, it's just in
Today's the
today's,
first
and
day.
we haven't
That's
published
it.
it yet. Okay, you haven't seen it. I was gonna just chastise you for not watching,
I've done some homework since we
for
talked.
not
Um,
watching
Well, this is just,
So anyway,
it's
just
so,
a nice, you know,
it's just cozy.
nice
And
and cozy and
I also love the way that you don't feel like you need to completely reinvent the wheel, that you leave out what you already have
I really do try to do
and
that.
you just kind of put an overlay. And increasingly, that's what I like to do because I don't have lots of storage space
And
either.
I do have too much to store, but anyway, but I don't have a lot of space. But it's really about the time issue.
Yeah.
And I did all of this. I did do it over a couple of days, but it wasn't too many hours to do it.
Yeah.
Other than sorting through the Christmas tree ornaments because I had to call them down.
Right.
So I had to unwrap and look at all of them. But the rest of it went up pretty quickly. So I like that now.
Yeah.
I want to keep it that way so I can keep doing it.
Well, I think opening up, unwrapping your Christmas ornaments is kind of like it's going down memory lane, and it's kind of like looking through old photo albums
It is.
and all the memories that are attached with each
and I had
one.
to some of them well, I know where that came from and why it was here and what it means to me, but it's not tree worthy anymore, so
Right.
So there's still a box of those which will be here forever, but
Yeah.
that's just what they are now. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Well,
I've got broken ornaments in a box that I won't ever throw away.
And if it breaks, I throw it away. And it used to bother me when they would break, and I broke one this year that was a significant person had given it to me,
oh.
and it fell. And it wasn't going on the tree, which was interesting. I'd already decided that, but it got caught on another one. And I dropped it, and I was like, okay. That
There it
helps.
goes. Yeah.
That helps you.
Move on.
Well, though I have some, that my kids made me, and they'll get squished, or they'll get, whatever. And those are
Those
still.
ones I was putting on the back of the tree. But when you do a little tree, you don't have those holes.
Or
anymore,
I want to
so-
do, and one of these days, not that I'm applying any pressure, boys, but one of these days, I want a Christmas tree that's just nothing but those kind of ornaments. Just nothing but the handmade and the rough and the, and then string cranberries and string popcorn. But anyhow, I think you're a perfect example of it doesn't take a lot to really create a really festive season. And what's most important is spending it with good friends like you. And we'll be spending a lot more time together in the new year because we've got some projects.
Okay.
I'm going to get you over to the
I want to see
cottage.
what's happening with the building.
Yeah. And then I'm really going to have you help me with some projects. I want to hang some things that you told me to suspend from leather. Anyhow, I'll keep that. I'll keep that under wraps. But but give Scott our best.
I will do that.
And have a Merry
Thank
Christmas.
you. You too.
Okay.
Both of you.
Well, holiday decorating has begun, and we are starting off in the public bathroom. I will explain more later, but look, the guest we have right now is my darling Goose, mwah, my grand dog who is here to stay. Oh, yeah, oh yes. Okay, shake. Oh, good girl. Lie down, lie down. Good girl. Okay, up, up, up. There you go. Thank you, Goose. She performs on command for me. Look at her cute little 5 arms.
I love that
Bandana. I know, I do too. Only the best for this rescue puppy, right? Okay, so this is what I mean when I call it a public bathroom, because it just kind of is a public space. Now, I still cannot show you the other portion of the bathroom because this morning when I was trying to get things ready for this shoot, my son came in and he said, oh no, I need to take a bath in the bathtub with the candles lit, and now there is a Christmas tree in here. And then I started puttering again, and then my daughter-in-law said, oh no, I need to take another bath in there. So this is what I mean by being a public bathroom. Even though I have 2 other full baths, when my kids are here, they very much want to be in this spa-like area. So what am I doing to deck the halls in the bathroom? Now, and why? Well, number one, because this is a large, fun space, and I think it's ever so romantic when you're really tired over the holidays to come in here and take a nice hot bubble bath at the foot of a Christmas tree. And because from the outside, this window is very, very prominent, and you can see the tree that I have put in here. Now, I want to point out some of my favorite and easiest little Christmas decor tips.
So starting out with these glass hurricanes. These are, I don't remember where I got them. They might have even been thrifted. I'm not sure. And all I've done, someone in the last video asked how I got these taper candles to stand in there. Well, this is how. These are just brass candlesticks that are that are heavy enough, candle holders, thank you, that are, I kind of burnt my a little bit there. Yeah, that are heavy enough to stand up. And so they stand secure without having to use any kind of candle putty, any kind of adhesive or whatever. And I like the fact that there's this touch of brass in there, which repeats the other brass notes in the bathroom. And then this refers to kind of my favorite thing. I just went out to the arborvitae that was outside, and I love to just cut fronds of the arborvitae and just stick them absolutely everywhere, because I think it makes it look very elegant, very festive, and more importantly, it's free. So this is a way that you could really zhuzh up some plain glass candle holders. If you really, really wanted to do it on a budget, then I would say just go to the thrift store and get any of those glass vases. We've seen 1,000 of them, Stuart, and do the same thing.
And that's what I almost said, is you probably didn't know where it was from. I thought for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And the candle holders, they look very high end. They look kind of West Elm. And I think I bought them online. I'm pretty sure I did. If so, I will definitely add the link below. I told you that one of my favorite things for this season are these glass domed match holders. Now, here's why I like them so much, and that's because I can never find where I put my box of matches. You know, I'll use it, I'll lay it down, I won't remember where I put it. I might have a designated spot for my matches, but it'll be in a drawer far away. With these, they are always right here, and there's a strike pad on it. And I love the fact that this one kind of matches the color of the bathroom. I have another one, but this one kind of matches the color of the bathroom, and so I've got it here at the ready so that anyone who comes in to use my public bathroom, or at least to bathe, can light their candles very, very easily and very elegantly. So I love that. If you wanted to do this on a budget, then just go to the thrift store, get any kind of glass vessel. You might be able to get a vase that you get a custom size cork to put inside, or you can just leave the matches freestanding, and then you can get these strike pads that are adhesive. You can get just the strike pads. Put that on the edge. What a great, thoughtful, fun, personal gift, and then you could zhuzh it out for Christmas.
So anything with a bottleneck would work.
Anything with a bottleneck would work, but if you just wanted to do something square and just have the matches exposed and then put on the glass or the piece of pottery or whatever on the side, you could use one of these strike patches, strike swatches, and they're adhesive and you just stick them on. So I think this is kind of fun. Okay, now over here I have decked the halls a little bit more with some greenery and with some more just empty whiskey bottles. I like the way they look. I can tell my kiddos, okay, when you're in here, this is where the different bath foam bubble bath products are. The Epsom salts are in here. I showed you that before. But now I'm adding, for the holidays, I want something that's in this same color palette. So I'm probably going to get more of them. And on the final tour, I will show you how this is ultimately decked out. Right now, I'm just in stages. I did this all yesterday because after Thanksgiving, all of that went away, and then magically all of this has to reappear for the house tour, which will be coming up next Saturday and Sunday, and we will put, Stuart, let's put the info, so if people want to buy tickets, they can, and I think it's going to be a beautiful weekend. So, but I digress. I'm going to get more orchids because it kind of fits this tropical vibe.
It fits the color so well. You
and
almost
it
couldn't
fits
see
the
it
color.
from where I was a minute ago.
Right,
It
so I'm
blends in so well.
going to get more of these, and I'm just going to fill additional spaces with them because I think they're just elegant. Okay, now Stuart, I'm sure that your towel holder in the bathroom has stockings hung.
Oh, at least maybe 2 more than this, probably, but it's not.
Probably, yeah. At least one for you and one for Julia. Well, I have 4 because there are 4 in my family. And I love these toile stockings. I got these many, many years ago from Williams-Sonoma, but they don't match the color palette in the parlor right now. But they're too beautiful not to press into service. So I have put them in here. I've stuffed them with this just cotton foam for now. I've adorned them with a little bit of glitz and greenery. And then I am probably going to do some shopping, and I'm going to get very, very specific stocking stuffers to put in here related to bath products. So I'll probably get some, maybe some bath bombs, like big snowballs to put in here. I might get some, I don't know, maybe some singular candles or something, but I'll put those in there and I think it'll be really fun. I think this has, it has kind of a restoration hardware vibe. These are, here's another tip. Take lots of clues from the design and the staging that they do for different kinds of catalogs and just steal those ideas. Even if they're kind of impractical, this will be here just for the holidays. Actually, the towels that people are going to use are going to be stored in a different basket. So for now, this just looks very, very nice. I found, when I was going through my things, I found a pillow that perfectly matches this color sway. What an interesting pillow. I had this made. It's got my monogram on it.
Neat.
And then I've got another, just kind of another lounging pillow here. And because I think all pieces of clothing should be multifunctional.
Cat's lounging at least.
Cat's lounging, yes. Goose, I'm surprised Goose hasn't gone after that. So this is that long cardigan that I got when I was doing for the color of the month. It's still the color of the month. And I thought, okay, this is also great in the morning when I'm chilly in my jammies and I want to go sit out by the fire, that I can just grab this. And in the meantime, I think it looks quite elegant and color appropriate, just hanging over the chair. I think I told you, it worked out brilliantly. I absolutely loved the way these rattan chairs looked at Thanksgiving. We'll be putting up some pictures on Instagram and things where you can kind of see my table. In fact, I think there's already a short video I put up. And I used these chairs. They looked so much better than those plastic and metal folding chairs that you get when you need additional seating, Stuart. And so I loved the way they look. This leads me to my question of the day. When you need additional seating around the holidays, not all year, and you want something that is portable, that can fold up and store easily, what do you use? Do you use something like this, a folding chair? Some people use like stools that they can just pull up to the table, benches. I'm just kind of curious how you get your additional seating when you are celebrating Thanksgiving or some big feast. I've just taken some little gold ornaments, pine cone ornaments, because the thematic in here is brass and gold, and I have hung them on there, and I think that's a sweet thing. This too would make a brilliant gift idea. Just, I think I mentioned it last time, just decant your bath, your bubble bath into these beautiful free bottles. Well, not necessarily free, but we consumed their contents and then recycled them with, and somebody was asking me where I got these corks. These corks are just corks that I have saved from bar items that likewise have been consumed. And I just, if they've got a beautiful cork, then I just save the cork because I think they're beautiful, inherently beautiful.
Artisan corks, all kinds of
stuff.
stuff.
You probably could. Okay, now this, you guys are going to think I'm kind of crazy, but I love the looks of candles that sit in these little clip-on candle holders that you clip onto the tree. So I first, how did I start out? I think, okay, so this is just a clip.
Oh, there you go.
Okay,
That's
and
good.
you just secure it
Cool.
to the tree branches. Now, it's just metal that's very malleable that you can bend pretty easily. So I think I started out with the clips themselves, and I ordered the brass clips. And then I thought, but I know where I can get real candles to put in here, but I really don't want real candles on my Christmas tree. So then I just measured the width of what I wanted to see if I could get some battery operated ones, and indeed I could, but in a very surprising place. And yes, we will put all of these links below. So this is actually part of a Harry Potter magic wand set that was sold around Halloween, but it's still available. And it comes with some fine, like just translucent line that you can hang these from the ceilings, and it makes it look like at Hogwarts where they are just suspended from the ceiling. But for me, I want them tucked into these little clip-on candle holders. And yes, if you're using a number of these, it would be handy for you to have a remote. But in this case, the remote is a magic wand.
So perfect.
Now, this would be such a fun gift for a Harry Potter lover in your life. I cannot wait to show this to my son Johnny, who loved Harry Potter growing up. And so you just point and click, and that is your remote.
You mean you
With
have to
this-
say like voila or something?
Oh yeah, alakazam or something like that. Okay, so now what do I do with all of these little clip-on candles? So I left this off so I wouldn't disturb the tree when I showed it to you. But all
I've
of
been
my
kinda hiding it this whole time. You're
candles.
probably wondering why I
Yeah,
haven't
you're
seen
wondering why over here. Okay, so and I'm going to stand here because this is a mess because I just haven't gotten around to cleaning it up yet. So this is just a tinsel tree. I wanted one that was very slim in profile. This is just about the right height. I want to say I'm 5'5", so this is about 6 feet, I'm going to guess.
Oh.
And then I wanted all of the ornaments to pretty much be in gold and brass. They're not expensive, but there's a lot of them. And this is kind of a garden-inspired life kind of thing. What I look for is line, shape, form, and texture. So I have all different types of shapes and forms and textures in the Christmas ornaments. You guys do this instinctively when you decorate your Christmas tree, and I just wanted to be intentional about it. And a lot of them again are nature inspired, so I've got glittery pine cones and things. I will probably hang a few more of these here. These were Reed and Barton collectible ornaments, and I've got more of them, but I need to get more of this maroon red ribbon, and then that will give me just a touch of that color on this tree, and I will do that as time permits. But again, I have my magic wand to just turn the candles on and off. I'm not holding my mouth right on this. But pointing them on and off. You can also twist at the base for them to go on and off. There is a learning curve to learning the wand. If you're a Harry Potter fan, you know that Harry had some problems, and obviously I need to take that class. But it's very, very fun, and it really is fun, especially at night, to light the candles and to bathe by candlelight and under the glow of a Christmas tree.
I have a fun thought because it's kind of like creative shopping isn't just for thrifting. You know?
Yeah, no, it's how
This is creative.
This is kind of, well, it is, and it was different components that I had to think through to come together.
Exactly.
But I love the way it looks. I love the fact that it's kind of whimsical and a little bit weird. Whimsical and a little bit weird. a whimsical, weird wonderland in my public bathroom. So I've got lots of laundry to fold. The towels will actually go in this basket right here. And so guests or myself can just grab a towel out of this kind of, again, tropical Bali looking basket. And I like that. And then I've got one more very important thing to do today while it is cloudy, because now that the window box has been cleaned out, I need to clean my windows. So I had my son carry out a ladder out there so that I can hop on that ladder and hop to cleaning my windows as soon as we're finished here. But I am mixing, I think, my holidays. Hopping is for Easter. It's still Christmas, and let's go into the parlor and see what kind of preparations I'm making there. Well, here are a couple of little life luxuries that are inexpensive and have really improved my quality of life. They've solved some issues that I've been having, storage issues in particular, and coincidentally, they would also make great stocking stuffers, I think. So one of them is kind of a silly thing, but it really has been so helpful and practical, particularly when I am packing, and that is these brass hangers, these brass hooks. Because what I can do then is I can just stage, when I'm getting ready to pack, I can just stage my different outfits on these multiple hooks. And I've got them placed all up and down my closet at every juncture point where I could hang one. So you can see that I could kind of do multiple outfits along those, so as I decide what I'm going to wear, that I can kind of put it together before I start packing. The other thing is, you guys know I'm a gal who loves her earrings, costume earrings, nice earrings, and by the way, my favorite earrings are from Elizabeth at Atrios Tile, so we need to put a link below. But I needed a way to really store them so that I can see them easily to select what pair I want to wear. But also that really kept them from getting all tangled up. That was my issue. They just kept getting tangled up. So I found these mesh kind of hangy things. I don't know what these would be called, but they are just mesh. And then
turns it into an art piece.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. Your French hoops or whatever just stick through the mesh, and that way when I'm trying to decide what pair I want to wear, they're all here, and I can kind of, because I like to color coordinate things, I can kind of color coordinate.
Probably not the only person that just had the thought, how do you pick a pair of earrings?
How do I pick a pair of earrings? It's so fun, and it's one of my little joys for the day is picking out what earrings I'm going to wear, and they can be really inexpensive. They don't have to be, they don't have to be anything inexpensive.
Well, it's about how it makes you feel, right?
It is. And then here, this makes me smile every morning. This is a tiny little turtle wallet. You remember this story, Stuart, that my mom, who died when I was young during one of her hospital stays, she made this. I got one in this color, and my sister got one in turquoise. And when I keep it hanging there, I think of her. So this is just a wonderful, I think this would be a great gift for teenagers, for college students, and it comes in this sweet little box. So again, I'll put the link below. I have several of them, and Stuart, you might want to think about one of these for Julia. So there you go. Just a couple of little life luxuries that coincidentally might make a really good stocking stuffer. Well, what am I reading this week? Not a lot. I've been so busy getting ready for Thanksgiving, enjoying having my kiddos here, and now prepping for Christmas that I really haven't had time to do a lot of reading, which I normally do at night before I fall asleep. And I've been pretty tired at the end of the day, so I'm just kind of crashing. So I'm not really reading a whole lot, but what I am referencing is my new garden journal. So many of you have gotten it and have told me, you're kind of wondering, well, how should I use it? When should I start? And I think that's a very, very personal thing. Because a lot of it, I think the value will be consistency and developing a habit to actually record in it. So whenever you are really beginning to get motivated for the gardening season ahead, or maybe even in the downtime around Christmas, if you work and you've got some time off, that might be a good time to start looking through it and seeing how as a tool it can best serve you. So thank you so much for your kind comments. A couple of you have told me there were some issues with the binding, the adhesive in the binding. And if that's the case, then just send it back to where you got it. A lot of you got it on Amazon, and if that was the case, then send it back. You can tell me about it and I will pass it on to the publisher, but there's not a whole lot I can do. So just talk to the source. Talk to the source. So that is what I am thinking about, what I am doing, and like it just makes me happy in here when I see that in November I've got some beautiful pressed leaves. So just little tokens of the season. And then also I wanted to mention it to you because I have referenced this tiny little Ivy printer, Bluetooth printer. Who's out there, Goose? Who's out there? We've got some neighbors out there, and Goose is protecting me from my neighbors.
All right, Goose, you're good.
You're good.
Good
It's
job, you
okay.
got 'em.
Okay. So anyhow, these Ivy printers are on deep discount right now. So if you are interested in getting one, now would be a good time to do it. They're small enough to tuck in a stocking, but they also are an easy wrap. So if that's something that you have been wanting, you want to put it on your Christmas list, then you might want to send the link, which I will put below, to your loved ones. And the thing is, I find it so helpful. Yes, some people really want to be surprised during the holidays, but some people like me would just prefer to get, because I don't need a whole lot of things. And if there is something that I really want, I'm pretty particular about it. I'm trying to be more curated about my things. And for example, my son, he is so particular. I don't buy anything for him. For Jamer, I don't buy anything for him that he has already said specifically that he wants. He's kind of a minimalist kind of guy. So I've learned that. And I think it's a thoughtful thing to do, to send people links to something that you want so that they can, they don't have to be out looking for it or even on their phone looking for it. Okay, now this next thing of what I am thinking about, it is such a sweet, sweet story. It's a very personal story. And I think about it every year at about this time as we're going into the holidays. So when my dad was older and he was living in assisted living and he was starting to show some signs of dementia, a number of us kids, we were there, we were visiting with him. And when I say a number of us, that could have still been just 3 out of 10. Who were there visiting him in assisted living. And he was wanting to know, things were starting to already go up, Christmas trees were starting to go up, a wreath had been hung on his door, and he was really beginning to fret. And he was saying, who is going to be here for Christmas? And so we said, well, Dad, it's going to be, Kay's going to be here, Barb's going to be here, Meg's going to be here, Dave's going to be here. And he said, but yes, but who else is going to be here for Christmas? And obviously there was some kind of disconnect that we just weren't making, a connection we were missing. And finally he said, in a very sweet way, he said, no, Christmas is a series. Christmas is a series. It's not just one day. And he couldn't really come up with the right words to express that. But what he meant was Christmas is a season. And growing up, all of us kids were all around for obviously the duration of the season. And he wanted to know, where were the rest of the kids? Where was everybody else for Christmas, the Christmas series, not just Christmas Day? And when we finally realized that, it helped us make him feel better. I think really made us be in tuned to. We all needed to call him, visit him more over the course of the next month. Bring him goodies for the series that was Christmas. And I think it also was very comforting to us because it made us realize how important we were to him during the Christmas holidays, because he really loved Christmas. And to him, Christmas just meant having his kids around. And there were a lot of us, the kids and the chaos around. So I think of that this time of year routinely, and it makes me think about him, and it makes me think about my brothers and sisters, and how nice it was to have all of us there and around for the series that is Christmas. Well, one of the best things about the holidays for me is having a Christmas goose here, my grand dog. A lot of you have been introduced to Goose. She was a rescue puppy belonging to Janie and Taylor. Gosh, how long has Goose been appearing periodically in our videos? She was such a help out in the garden at the Fairy Tale House, and I imagine that she will be equally of value here at this house. Won't you, girl? Yes, you will. Yes, you will. So she's helping me decorate in the parlor, and I have up tree number 1. So this is a really beautiful tinsel tree, silver tinsel tree. I bought it online. I've actually been looking for one of these for years, and I finally found one that had, I'll be honest, just kind of the Martha Stewart quality that I was looking for. And you may recall that it is very reminiscent of a lot of the inspiration images that I had on my bulletin board. And it's been so fun for me, you guys, to just refresh my Christmas color palette. So it's more kind of a winter wonderland theme in here. The blues, the taupes, the navies, the kind of aquamarine, different colors, Goose's wagging tail. Yeah, I know. It's so precious, so precious. So that and silver and white. So this is my theme. I don't have any lights on this tree, and I don't think I will, but I will have candles in the windows as soon as I can locate them. I bought them. They're the battery operated ones that are just so dear, that sit in the windowsill. So I've got some of those, and then the wreaths will be in the backdrop hung on the outside, and those will be illuminated. So I really wanted this inside to be kind of clean. And then I'm coordinating all of my wrapping around this same thematic, and I think I showed you this before. So this is the color palette. It's kind of a taupe, silver, different shades of blue, and I've wrapped them with the velvet ribbon that I think I showed to you earlier. And then I just like to tuck a few of the ornaments onto the packages themselves.
The blue quilt looks good.
Yeah, and it just, yes, and for a tree skirt, this is just a blue scarf that I have. And obviously there will be more. It's fringed, but I think it's appropriate, and there will be more small gifts underneath this tree. This one here is a different wrap that I have not heretofore wrapped presents in yet, but I will, and this one happens to be for you, Stuart. So I'm going to put that over there, only if you're good. Only if you're good. Then I got these. These were such fun punch tags. I think I showed you those before, because you punch out the silhouette, and then you can use it for confetti. You can use it to do some kind of 3D decorating somewhere if you want. And then this, man, I'm going to do this every year because this was so handy. These are just Christmas picks, and you can get these to use for hors d'oeuvres, to use for your drinks, for a variety of different purposes. But I have found that they are brilliant as adornments on your gift wrap. So one of the reasons they are so wonderful is then you can take any kind of ornament that you might want to decorate your packages with, and you just put it around one of these sticks, and then you just tuck the stick into the ribbon or even through the gift wrap itself or through the hole in the tag, and it makes it so much easier. You don't have to use a lot of tape. You don't have to try to thread whatever the ornament is through the ribbon, which is always kind of difficult. It's just kind of mindless, especially if your fingers don't work very well. So, and a lot of times if you don't have a ribbon, look at this. You just stick it right through the wrap, and you can get it to come out on the other side if you want. But if you don't want to, you just stick it through the wrap, and then this is where you could stick the tag. I'm using the word stick a lot. Place the tag. But I think it's very clever. Again, these are the colors that I am using in my parlor, but they also have some that are really fun, and they're wood. And they've got obviously more traditional characters on them. There's probably some with little trees and Santas, but I think it's fun. So I just love all of these. This is a mix of nice glass Mercury ornaments, some that I've had for years, these grapes, these groupings of grapes, clusters of grapes, but a lot of them also are just inexpensive ones that I have just supplemented. I got a number of them at Target, but I've just supplemented my more expensive ones, and I think they look really pretty. Now, because I have a new color palette for my tree, I need a new color palette for my mantle, and this is very much a work in progress. It is not done. I need to steam all of my new stockings, these icy blue stockings. I'll be hanging greenery on them, and you can see here each one of them will also have an ornament on it that matches their initial. And these are the stocking hangers that I got that probably, I don't know that I'm going to keep these because I think they're just not going to be very secure. So I'm looking at different options, which is why I said that that this is a work in progress. Now, I do like to always have some kind of green Tussie Mussy that kind of accentuates the corner, a bit of greenery. This is one that was made for me by Charlie across the street, my 8-year-old neighbor who is always bringing me little gifts. And she brought me a wonderful Tussie Mussy. This one's about 2 weeks old. It had white baby's breath in it. It was just adorable. So I have commissioned her to make 6 of them for me, and we discussed what a commission is and then how she needs to invoice me with Betsy, her babysitter, who's the best babysitter ever. So she was all dressed up in adorable. Maybe I can put in a picture here. So she has agreed to take on the commission, and I told her by what day I would need them, and she needs to let me know what she will be charging. And so we have a business arrangement with Charlie across the street, who is also, Charlie is also the gal that does my sweet little chalk art in front. She and I have become,
Sounds like the artist.
yeah, quite buddies. I am Miss Linda on the street. So I'm going to zhuzh all of these. I also color coordinate the things that go inside. Stuart's going, of course you do. So some of the things that I will tuck into my stockings.
I lost one of these earlier.
Oh yeah, I had to hide it from you, Stuart. I had to hide it from you. But my daughters-in-law especially Delphia, loves dark chocolate. So I got some of these for both of the girls, caramel and dark chocolate. See, do you see that this is in September blue with caramel, which was one of our color of the month, and then I think it's always the season for dark chocolate, don't you?
Well, I think everybody probably buys their chocolate based on the colors on the packaging too. It's probably pretty normal.
And so I know. I think Stuart's teasing me there, but yes, I do color coordinate my things because I have some icicle chocolates.
It
And so
coordinates really
I
well.
know, and these will be sticking out. In addition to some little packages of things that make good stocking stuffers that I will wrap in my designated colors and stick in there. So you won't get to see this until we do the official tour. So give them kind of a broad swoop of this. I do have another color echo here of a silver tinsel tree.
Those, or was that old leaves?
These are old leaves that I spray painted in my designated colors, and then these are bottle brush trees that I found. I know, I found those. You can get them in different colors, and then I need to switch out my candles. I haven't even unwrapped the colored ones yet. So all of this will continue to be zhuzhed.
Is that coated pine cones? What is that?
Yes, those are coated. I've had those for years.
It's like they're too realistic not to be coated. That is crazy.
Yeah, but they are coated. So I'm still zhuzhing that, but I like this kind of wind blown theme of the leaves just tucked into the tree, and I kind of like that. So it seems elegant to me, and I will finish this out later. I also found these sweet little ornaments that I think are just dear, and these would make, I think sometimes ornaments, especially if you find them at the end of the year, I think they make fun little toys for kids, and when they're, I don't know, when they're of a sweet quality like this, they have kind of an old-fashioned vibe. These would also look kind of cute sticking out of here. But yes, so do I sometimes color coordinate my ornaments? Yes. Yes, I do. I think this buck is getting ready to maybe make an entry in the garden. Yeah, in the garden journal. Just very sweet. This guy doesn't want to stand up. There we go. There we go. And then again, because this is just how I roll, you guys, I always show my uglies before everything is finished. And so I'm just showing you some in-process things because Christmas is a series and it takes us a while to get everything in place until it reaches a point of supposed perfection for us. Nothing is perfect.
It's really just when you stop.
Perfectly imperfect. Yeah, it's just when you stop. And but I need to get going because I got to have it done by next weekend. And then here, I'm getting ready to set this as kind of, it's kind of a bar here where I will have some champagne for people when they walk in the door, probably some goodies over here. And I will declutter my coat rack so my guests have a place to hang their coat.
Who's that fabric was?
That's velvet.
Cool.
Yeah, that's velvet, and actually it's green. It's not my color palette, but I'll figure it out. So all of this will be restaged. Now this is where we started out. We had all of the pies and everything on here on the sideboard for Thanksgiving, and then when we moved outside, all of the pies went outside with us because it was absolutely,
pies with you.
Oh my, you do. And let me tell you, Thanksgiving was it was textbook. The weather could not have been any better. I think everyone agreed it was our best Thanksgiving ever. And that's saying a lot because it was just such a communal thing. All of us sitting out there by the fire with the kids at home. Stuart, am I forgetting anything? Yes, I am. This is huge. No, this is huge news, you guys. We are hoping this week to go over and shoot at a couple of the homes that will be on the Christmas tour along with mine for the Mesta Park holiday tour. And two of the homeowners have decided that they will allow us to come into their home. So I'm hoping we're going to be able to do that. I'm going to save mine until the weekend around December 8th because something really special is happening then. Many of you, if you watch my channel, you probably also watch Homeworthy, which is a wonderful YouTube channel that was started by a gal who used to work for ABC for Good Morning America, Emmy Award winner. She has a wonderful channel and she goes into people's homes and does home tours. And so they have asked me to be on the Christmas Homeworthy tour, and we're going to shoot that December 8th, Stuart. And so I really need to get going, so I will be ready for that. And I don't think I told you, Stuart, that my friend Brandon, that lives in Alexandria, Virginia, that we have visited before. We've had him on our channel. He is also was on Homeworthy last year, and they're going to do huge Christmas stuff. His is just incredible.
Really cool.
Really, really ornate, very, very complex, and requires a lot more effort than mine does. But I think for now, I've got a very sleepy goose over here.
I know,
Stuart.
we got to end on it. That's what I
We
was
got
thinking.
a very sleepy, a
The way
very.
she sits on it is very
No.
proper.
She likes to look out the windows, don't you, Goose? So that's what's going on here with me and Goose at the cottage on the hill. Hopefully you got just a few ideas that will make your holiday decorating a little bit easier. Well, inspired by the Waltons movie, The Homecoming, we are going to make our own version of her applesauce bread. And definitely, we have a very important homecoming along with that theme because my daughter-in-law, Delphia, is home for the holidays.
Hi, everyone.
And she is going to help me bake this bread. Now, true confessions, she is a good baker and she bakes a lot more frequently than I do. I am not a good baker, but I blame it all on Stuart and Leah and the members of my family who are constantly interrupting me as I bake. Does Johnny do that with you?
No, he stays out of the kitchen.
He completely stays away.
Okay, well, my mistake is the first thing every baking recipe should say is get everyone out of the kitchen and all distractions removed, because that's how you can kind of screw things up. So this is, I guess, kind of a pretend baking show. Okay, so first of all, Delphia, let's make sure we have all of our ingredients, which I have prepped, mise en place. We have our things measured out and prepped here. So what is on our list?
Okay, starting off, 1/2 cup of brown sugar.
Okay, I've got 1/2 cup of brown sugar here.
1.5 teaspoons cinnamon.
1.5 teaspoons cinnamon.
1 large apple.
1 large apple. Actually, this is more than that, but Johnny already chopped that up a little bit earlier.
2/3 cup of granulated white sugar.
Okay, the white sugar is already in here with how much butter?
1/2 cup of
1/2
salted
cup
butter.
of butter. Okay, so because I didn't want to get out my mixer, what I did was I just put the white sugar in here and then I zapped the 2 sticks of butter in the microwave. So then we were able to make this really smooth without me having to get out my big heavy mixer. Okay, so we've got those. Check, check.
2 eggs.
2 eggs. Okay, I've got
Over there.
2 huevos. Okay,
2 teaspoons of vanilla extract.
got that.
1.5 cups of all-purpose flour.
Got that.
1.5 teaspoons of baking powder.
Got that.
1 pinch of sea salt.
Okay, and I've already pinched the salt into the flour.
1/2 cup of milk.
1/2 cup of milk. Okay, got that.
And that's it.
Okay, so now tell me what we need to do.
Okay, so first combine the brown sugar and cinnamon in a small bowl.
Okay, so it looks like I
And-
need to get out another small bowl. And by the way, you guys, these nesting bowls are great. So you can see that they're all of the same style. Do you have a set of these?
Yes, but just three.
Just
clear
3.
ones,
I
yeah.
probably need to get you the whole set because they're wonderful.
That sounds good.
They're wonderful.
I won't say no.
Well, okay, that's the theme for the holiday. Won't say no to that. Okay, so we're going to mix this together. So this is the 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Okay, and then how much cinnamon were we putting in here? It seems like
I
it
think
was
all of it.
yeah, all of the cinnamon,
One
and
and a
it
half
was
teaspoon.
1.5 teaspoons. Okay, so we're going to put that in there.
Okay.
Now, when you bake, I know you are a chocolate lover. I know this about her. Do you bake normally a chocolate something? Or
Yes.
what do you like to bake?
Usually I bake my go-to is a chocolate olive oil cake.
Ooh.
It's a favorite every time.
Okay, so is this a family recipe?
Not yet. It could be. I'll share it with you.
Okay, absolutely. Yes. So this is funny. So Delphia and I, we are both chocolate lovers, but I think my love of chocolate pales in comparison to yours, maybe.
Yeah. I can have chocolate in the morning and at night.
Yeah, and predominantly what? What kind
Dark
of chocolate?
chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
Always dark chocolate.
So we were discussing this. This is one of these things that I threw out to my family. So for years, and I can't remember, when was the first time we made it together? We made my favorite toffee candy.
Oh, yes.
And you have made it several times.
Yes, almost every year since then.
And she said that your family, how did they respond to the toffee candy?
Well, they asked me for the recipe.
And you responded.
Well, it's a secret family recipe.
It's a secret family recipe. So the story of this, I shouldn't be talking about toffee as we're making applesauce cake, but the toffee candy, I think I've told you this before, was given to me, the recipe was given to me by my Italian friend Ann Fife when I was in college. And we started making it. I made it every year. It's very special. It is very decadent. And we made it every year, but she told me when she shared the recipe with me that I was not to share it with anyone but my family members. And I have pretty much kept that vow ever since then. Now, God rest her soul, Anne is gone, and I thought, well, maybe, are you released? That's my question of the day. Are you released from that kind of vow that you make to someone after they have passed? Or do you still, Leah, what do you think? Do you still hold it sacrosanct?
I don't know. They're out there somewhere watching
So at any rate, I threw the question out to Delphia and to Taylor, my other daughters-in-law, and I let them decide. And what was the decision?
We're going to keep it a secret. Hopefully.
Well, because
It is too good.
it is too good. And if you're like me, and have you made it for gifts, or do you
Yes, I made it for gifts for my colleagues, for my family. I had one colleague who finished everything at one go.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. So for some of you who don't know what Delphia does, can you give us a Cliff's Notes version of what you do in Singapore?
Well, I'm just a humble civil servant.
She's not a humble, she is humble. I am not humble. And I'm her mother-in-law, and I'm allowed to not be humble. So she works for the Ministry of Singapore, and I asked as just kind of a short description of what you do, and I asked you, could I call you a legal diplomat? And you said,
Well, yes, a lawyer diplomat kind of describes the skills that I have at work.
well, she's very smart, way above my pay grade. She just and actually you came here right after coming in from Rome, so it's a nice arrangement you have, but you travel a lot.
Yeah.
So baking and home baked goodies are really important, I think, for the homecoming, the Christmas homecoming. So, okay, I digress. So what do we do next? We have added the cinnamon to the brown sugar. We've removed the peel from the apple and chopped it. I'm actually not going to do that, and I'll tell you why. Because the apples, and one of the reasons that we're making this is because I had so many apples as part of my holiday decor, and I wanted to use up those apples. They were not treated with anything, they had no preservatives on them, but I didn't want them to go to waste. So that's why we are making this cake. But some of the peel on the outside was a little less than its best. Some of it had been punctured because I had them hanging off of a flower arrangement. So we're not going to do the peel, but we have chopped up the apple into smaller bits. So we have done that, and we put them in a bowl and set aside. Then we have softened the butter and sugar, we've got that here. We did not use a stand mixer because I didn't want to get it out. So we just did this because I put the white sugar in here, the 2 things of butter, and it was softened, and then it should be grainy and kind of chunky. Then to the same large bowl, we're going to what?
Add the eggs.
Oh, and I just spilled some of my.
Eggs.
Okay, so we're going to put, like I say, this is, talk about embracing imperfection. Okay, or embracing good enough. Okay, let's put that one in there. Teamwork. Okay, and then what else are we supposed to put in here?
Vanilla extract.
Vanilla extract. Okay.
And then continue mixing.
Okay. Stuart thinks this is funny because he knows. I'm actually not a bad baker when I don't have a whole lot going on. And it's just me. Stuart knows that I have made stuff in the past that was pretty good.
That's just so gross looking, but I bet you it tastes amazing.
Well, I think this is the kind of gross stage. Okay, what do we do after this stage? After we're mixing in the eggs and the vanilla?
So after that, add the flour.
Okay.
Grab that.
You want to slowly add the flour, and then I'll start mixing it in.
Okay.
And I don't know. Add the flour, baking powder, and salt. So it didn't tell us to mix the baking powder together.
But I guess we could.
But we could have, probably. But it didn't tell us to. So we're going to just add the rest of the flour then.
Okay. It gets harder to.
Yeah, it gets harder to turn. Okay. We'll go ahead and add the rest. And then let's go ahead and dump in all of that baking powder.
Okay. Is the salt in here?
And the salt I had already mixed into the flour. Okay, so let's continue to do this, to whisk this together. And then what is going to be next?
Next, add the milk.
Add the milk. Okay, well that will help. That will help my arm won't get so tired. And I'm sure all the people, you guys out there that are baking, I'm sure I'm sure you are just thinking, oh, for goodness sake, Linda.
I can help with that.
They're probably laughing a little and enjoying it.
It's okay. I do not profess, but I knew you guys would want to meet Delphia. Okay, so I'm using some of this Pam baking made with flour. It promises perfect release, which could be an issue because I'm using this cute little pan, Christmas, but it's got a lot of indentations.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, a lot of indentations, and that can be kind of worrisome. Now, the other reason, and true disclosure, the recipe says just to butter it, but I want to use a little bit of flour, and this baking stuff comes with flour in it, because I have found that when you use any of these decorative loaf pans, it looks a lot better if there is some kind of coloration differences on the top, and that's what the flour does. Okay, so we're going to do that. Then what do we do, Delphia?
Then we add half the batter in.
Half the batter in, okay. Okay, so we're gonna add about half the batter. Does Johnny come in when you're cooking and baking and to lick the?
Once in a while.
Once in a while.
I'll save this batter on the spoon for Stuart.
There you go. Thank you.
You're so thoughtful. Okay. We are then going to, in a greased 9x5 loaf pan, half the batter with the chopped apples, followed by half of the brown sugar mix. Okay. And we did sprinkle these apples with a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of cinnamon beforehand, just because. Just because. Okay, that's about an apple's worth. And then it said, what did we say? Half of the brown sugar mixture?
Mm.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you add about half of that.
Okay. This where it won't
Switch.
fall off.
We have not practiced this, you guys. So that's about half. Ooh, and that looks yummy. I'll spread it around a little bit. Okay, then we put the next half on. Is that what it says? I think we're going to do. Repeat this layering one more time using the remaining ingredients. Okay, so we're gonna put this on. It does help to have a sous chef.
An extra pair of hands.
An extra pair of hands, yes. I have to say, it smells divine, does it not?
It smells good over here, for Christ's sake. So.
Okay, now Delphia, if you were entertaining and you were serving this in Singapore, what would you serve it with and to whom would you serve it?
Probably, well, friends, family, I would serve it with vanilla ice cream.
Ooh, I can't say no to that.
It's a very strong cinnamon smell, so
It does.
that would be nice.
I love that. Okay, we don't waste not, want not, but once I get done with this, Stuart, you can lick these spoons. Okay, so then we add just a little bit more of the apples. And then I'm gonna let you add. And see, the thing is that this is really probably what I should have done. This is one of these things. And this is why I think baking takes practice. What we probably could have done, Delphia, and should have done, would be to start this off upside down. Maybe put some of the brown sugar on top, because this is not going to be the top. And this is the first time we've made this. So, whereas trial and error. Sometimes good enough is good enough, not perfect. That's kind of what this channel's all about. Sometimes good enough is just good enough. The importance is that we try.
Exactly.
The importance is that we try. And I know for certain, I know empirically, that anything we make, whether it turns out beautifully or not, will be consumed. Because it doesn't have to look beautiful. It doesn't have to look beautiful to taste delicious. Okay, so we're going to put this in a 350 oven for about 45 to 55 minutes, just depending on how your oven cooks, whether it cooks hot or it cooks low. So what do you say? I'll open the door and I'll let you do the honors. Okay. Yes, dun 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 dun. Okay, very good. So there you go. Come back and we'll see if it releases, if it has a pretty pattern on it, and if it doesn't, I don't care, because it will taste delicious with a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and especially because we have our family and we'll be consuming it together. Okay, so this is the part that always makes me nervous, because if you look at the pan underneath, see, it's got this great motif on it, this great Christmas motif on it. I showed it to you before. Okay, but now it's the moment of I don't know, the moment of reality. Is it going to turn out or isn't it going to turn out? I know it works with pumpkin bread, but whether or not it works for applesauce bread, I do not know. So here we go. And you know what? Okay, crowd, if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, we are going to embrace imperfection, because what's the book that we are talking about, Leah?
You're putting me on the spot.
The Perfection Trap by Thomas Curran. Okay, I just remember it was about perfection.
Embracing the
So,
power of good enough.
okay, so if this works, yay. If it doesn't, I bet you it will be consumed and it will be good enough.
Repeat that title for him real quick, since you have a microphone on. What was the title you said?
Embracing the power of good enough.
Embracing the Power of Good Enough by Thomas
There
Curran.
you go.
Okay, so
Ready?
could I have a drum roll, please?
Somebody get on the counter. This is the drum roll. Here we go. This is where the reveal
Okay,
is.
first I'm gonna do this.
Okay, it's got to separate, huh?
Yes, it's got to separate, and we just don't know if it's going to separate good enough.
You know, because it's all about good enough. Okay. Everybody hold your
Well, let's
breath.
just show them what it's supposed to look like, because now they can really see it.
Okay, yeah, okay, can you see?
Yeah, now they can really see it. Okay, that's what they got a good look.
Okay. And this might be my question of the day. If it doesn't work, what did I do wrong? I followed the directions. And did everything it told me to do. Ouch, that's hot for one thing. Okay, I'm going to let you know what, we're going to take a break. I'm going to let this cool just a little bit longer. I thought it had cooled long enough.
Okay. We'll give it
But maybe,
It's starting.
yeah, but maybe not. So we're going to take a break here. Everybody, the suspense is, I know, is it a flop or not? Flip or flop?
We'll see you after the commercial break.
Yes, there you go, Johnny. It's snowing on the Christmas tree. Okay, so this is just a candid moment. If I saw Johnny,
He has no to do with his arms.
Eating this delicious cake. But I was asking Delphia, and first of all, let me just say that, of course, before we started filming this, Johnny was abusing me. He was making fun of me, wasn't he, Delphia? Because he thinks that's his job description, is to make fun of us. But this cake is absolutely delicious. But I want to ask you a little bit more. So I said, okay, who would you serve this to? How would you serve it? And you said to your family members. So what family members specifically? Which family members would you be serving it to? And we should give them a shout out.
Yes. So I would serve it to the family members who watch Linda's channel.
So they don't get any cake unless they watch my channel.
Exactly.
Okay, I like
so
that.
that's an incentive. So Auntie Molly, Auntie Shirley, Auntie Eileen, and Mom. This is for you.
Not your dad?
Do we need to give them like a secret code?
Well, my dad, after watching this, I think he will.
The code is Ovaltine.
Drink your Ovaltine. Nobody gets it. That's a reference to that iconic movie, The Christmas Story. But truly, I hope you really do serve this to them. And I miss seeing your family. So please give them a big Merry Christmas hug from the Vaughter family to yours, all the way from Oklahoma City to Singapore.
Well,
Thank you for doing this.
Aww.
Thank you, Johnny.
Well, my Little Life luxuries this week are anticipatory. So I am anticipating some things I'll be doing in the new year. And one of them, even though I've been walking a lot over the holidays, I want to increase the number of steps I get in each day as part of a healthy lifestyle for 2024. And so there were a couple of things that I wanted to show you that I consider to be Little Life luxuries. One is something that I've had for a while, and it is this Lululemon. I can wear it when I'm walking. You can wear it when you jog. I just really basically use it as a side purse whenever I'm shopping within the walking life to areas that are close by. But you can wear it as what do you call it, Leah? What is the thing? A belly bag?
Fanny pack?
Fanny pack. Thank you, fanny pack. Boy, that's a retro term. Fanny pack, or usually I wear it over my shoulders like this. Now this one I got a while ago, and it's Lululemon, which is kind of a name brand. I think it was maybe $38, which wasn't too much. I actually bought it because it was recommended to me by my daughter-in-law. But you can also get a dupe, which is just kind of a fake version of this. And we will put both links if you want the Lululemon or you want a duplicate, because I'm not sure how many colors this comes in. You might want a different color. You might want something that's a little less expensive, either for you or for a loved one. Now, this, I'm so excited about this because I've looked for this for a while. I cannot walk any distance at all, Stuart and Leah will tell you this, without having a water bottle or having a glass of water or something. I have to have water with me at all times.
It's a good habit.
It is a good habit, but sometimes it can be a little inconvenient because when I'm out walking, I don't want a great big heavy water bottle to carry around or to really be hanging against my side as I walk, clanking. And a lot of the thermal ones were a little too large for me. So I found this one. The brand is Mio, but it is a thermal bottle. I don't know if it's Mia or Mio, but I got it. I love its good looks. I can hang it from the side without it being prohibitively heavy. But what I really like about it, and this would make a great gift get. Crift get. Boy, I've had too busy of a day. Gift kit. There we go. For someone who embraces a walking life. And so what I love about it is look how nicely it fits in here. And then I can also, carry my phone in here. I can carry a credit card, a debit card, or whatever for when I want to do some shopping. If I've got a grocery store down the street, so a lot of times for me, I just walk to the grocery store to get my ingredients for whatever it is I'm cooking that night. So that is just a couple of things that I am really excited about that I'll be putting into heavy rotation once the calendar changes. And I especially love this little bottle. It might come in different colors, I'm not sure, but I wanted the black on black because it is tone on tone December. Now, the other thing, you guys have been so sweet and have commented that you like my hair lately. And it's probably because Leah showed me kind of how to make little rotary curls. I call them rotary curls on the side of my head. And you guys have been sweet about commenting about that and why I have been able to do them. And heretofore I could not is because I got myself a new hair, what are these called? Flat irons. Gosh,
or a straightener.
Or a straightener. My words are just not flowing easily today. Well, I don't know.
It's been a lot happening around here.
If you guys only knew how busy this morning has been and how many people have been in and out. So this is a wonderful flat iron. It's Lhoo. Am I pronouncing that right?
I think
Lang,
so.
Lange. I believe it's Lange, and I really like it. I think it might still be on sale. I'm not sure.
I've had mine for years, and it's still kicking. So.
And it's still kicking. Okay. Well, mine is still kicking after having it for about 3 weeks. So I really like it. And I think it's good about protecting your hair if you've got dry and brittle hair. So if yours, this is one of these things that often have to be replaced because it will start damaging your hair. So if you are in need of a new curling iron, then treat yourself to this little life luxury. And of course, we'll put all of the links below. Now, my last little life luxury is kind of a big luxury item. So I asked for this for my birthday and I got it, but it just arrived. And I wanted a more luxurious chair to sit in the public bathroom. Because I have found sometimes I meditate in here. It's hard to get because the cottage is kind of an open floor plan and sometimes it's hard to find a place to get away. And I can do that in the public bathroom. And I think it's looking for privacy in the public bathroom. So I can close off the doors, I can play some quiet music in here, and I can meditate. And I wanted a chair that would be a little bit more comfortable to meditate in. And so I found this. I love the way it looks because I think it so matches the aesthetic of the bathroom. I think it looks really great. It's got kind of a bally vibe. Leah squealed when she saw it. And we will put a link below. It's got a nice cushiony seat to it. So let me just move out of the way so Stuart can show it to you.
Let the chair have its moment.
Yes, let the chair have its moment. I love the back. I love the meshing on the back. I love the fact that it's rattan and it's got that kind of Indo-Asian look that I really...
The black and brown looks really cool.
Yeah, the black and brown looks really great, and I think it kind of echoes the vibe that I've got with the gallery wall. So, from my chair in the public bathroom to your ears, there are my little life luxuries for this Signature Style Saturday.
Well, I'm just here enjoying some of this beautiful apple cake and some hot tea with our Manukora honey. We are all loving this honey. It's full of antioxidants. It's full of prebiotics. It's so good for us during these winter seasons to keep us healthy. And we did hear some of you comment that it was a little bit pricey. So we worked with Monocord to get you all a better deal on this honey. So now you get a little bit more in the package, and we all think it is so worth the price. So go check it out if you haven't already.
Well, one of the most fun things about having Leah as a member of our team is that we wear the same size.
Yes.
And we can lend each other lots of clothes, and we have over the past several months. The other reason I love it is because she puts a fresh eye on my wardrobe, and she comes up with unique combinations that I might not come up with, and I think that's just fun. It's just a fun thing to do, and periodically I will do the same with her.
Yeah.
So, okay, so give us a guide to my wardrobe for Colorado over the holidays. We're going to Denver. Leah is going to be me, and she's going to be staying at the cottage while I'm gone, and you can run
through the closet,
to come up with new outfits for the new year. So give us a little guide on how you decided what pieces I needed to bring.
Okay. Well, I love a capsule wardrobe. I am also an avid traveler, and I actually traveled all last year in one tiny carry-on suitcase. So this is called a capsule wardrobe, and it's all about picking pieces that you can mix and match. Linda's going to be hiking. You may be wanting to dress up a little bit, cozy on Christmas morning. So we took all of that into account, and you can tell there's a lot of the same color pieces, but all of these, we kind of started with 3 or 4 pants that we love that fit super well, and then pairing that with different sweaters that can all be mixed and matched. So you get a good base of outfits that you can dress up or dress down. You can wear a sweater with leggings or jeans, or a nice, somewhere over here is that satin black skirt. So you can dress things up and down. We have this cute quince outfit that she could wear with this puffer vest or without it. And then you just start accessorizing on top of that based on what you have room for, either in your suitcase or your car.
Right.
And so I always start with some neutrals, black on black, some monochromatic, gray on grays, and then add pops of color with accessories.
Because the monochrome thing, the tone on tone, is what we're going for in December. The other thing that I told her is that I have lots of heavy sweaters and vests and things that really I haven't had an opportunity to wear because it's been so warm. And if I can't wear them in Colorado, I don't know when I'm going to be able to wear them this season. And so since we're going to be driving, I have a little bit more latitude in the amount of clothing that I bring. And I want to have fun, and I want to dress up and go to special places. Plus, I have all 4 of my kiddos. So I've got both of my sons and my daughters-in-law. We're going to be taking lots and lots of pictures. And Leah has made me promise that I'll be doing an outfit of the day while
she has to send at least me an outfit of the day.
At least her an outfit of the day.
Post it too, but
to demonstrate.
We just need to see all of these combinations that you can come up with.
Yeah, this is my homework. Okay, so I'm gonna point out a couple of pieces that I really wanted her to style for me, and partly because some of these are thrifted. Ooh. So I don't know how long ago I got this great vest thrifted, and I've already torn your outfit apart, but I bought this great faux fur vest, and I love this. You've paired it. This looks very like Audrey Hepburn.
You know I love Audrey Hepburn.
Yes, you do, and I just love this, like après-ski or something.
You could literally wear this with leggings, or you could wear it with your satin skirt and dress it up with earrings. You can wear your little beret. Like all of these can be mixed and matched. Right.
It's just so fun, and I need to start thinking that way a little bit more.
Blazer.
Yeah, come over here and show. Texture. I'll let you show.
So this blazer, just in case you want to dress it up a little bit, any of the outfits, again, I could even wear a oversized blazer with leggings. Like you can rock anything.
This was thrifted.
And you could add even like these textures on each other, which sometimes you wouldn't think to do, but it kind of looks Ralph Lauren right there.
It looks Ralph Lauren. And the other thing, it's the same application of garden design principles where you do layering, you do texture on texture, different tonal qualities, some sparkly things, some matte things.
Yep.
So yes, it could be very, very
You
fun.
can mix it with tennies, you can wear your boots. All of this is all about versatile pieces that you can mix and match.
And the important thing for me was that every piece that I am bringing, or at least all of the footwear, has to be walkable. I really need to be comfortable in them. So there's not going to be any high heels for me, high heels in the snow or anything like that. But I'm a hat person, so I will definitely love my beanie that I've got going on. And then this was a pretty big purchase for me because I have lots of coats, but I don't have any, and most of my coats are thrifted, but I don't really have any long coats that I can wear when I wear dresses or things like that. So I splurged and I got this from Banana Republic.
I love it.
And I love kind of the tone on.
Look at this
tone on tone. Yeah, so I'm sure I need to look in the mirror to do this.
So
yeah,
chic.
and I've got.
So we can see all of it. Sorry.
Yeah,
It
well,
looks so good.
well, and I've got gray gloves, and I think it's just going to be warm. It's all
It
very,
looks so- the hat
very,
looks
very
good.
comfortable.
Looks good.
Leah's even picked out some jewelry for me. Leah's
Some
all
pops
about
of
pop
color.
of color. So I've got my red Teddy Blake bag that you guys have seen before, my
and
red
if you
tennis
use the same
shoes.
pops of color, it makes it easier because even all the accessories can mix and match. Can add some flair to your, grays and blacks that you're packing
It's
easily.
subtle too, because
And the nice thing is, for me, typically, I think the most prohibitive thing to bring is multiple pairs of shoes or boots because that takes
my
up a lot of
favorite
room.
part.
So when you fly, that's an issue.
Yeah.
But since we're driving, it won't be an issue.
That whole trunk
And-
full of shoes. That's how I'd be doing it.
Yes, and I finally, I am just so looking forward to it. And playing with things that I've already have, refreshing and kind of restoring and renovating my wardrobe all at once through the fresh eye
Thank you.
of Leah.
So much fun.